one thing for certain. This has been an Odyssey I won't forget.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Podyssey, episode 18. My name is the Exile and I'm joined by Willis Makes Movies. Today we're going to be talking, I was about to say spoiler-free discussion, but this is not going to be spoiler-free. This is the opposite. This is spoiler-filled. This is literally titled Spoiler Cast for Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're going to be talking about everything to do with the game's story, its gameplay. We're just gonna go deep. We're gonna get locked in, go deep, and we're gonna give our raw thoughts, what we think. We might agree on some things, we might disagree on some things, and I think it's gonna be a very interesting conversation. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts and see if there's any common ground or differences. Of course, though, before we get into all that, we'll have a nice chill convo. We'll ease ourselves in. And obviously timestamps will be in the description. But first, Lewis, I have a question for you.
Go for it. What's the question?
What is in the box?
Oh, man. I'd rather not know at this point.
What is in the box?
I am sorry, we do not know what was in the box. We do not open the box.
We never get to see it. What is in the box?
They never open it.
But
no box.
That might be the craziest things. That was this whole. I know we'll get into this, but there was a whole build up to what's in the box. The box never gets opened, and I know that. I know that it was meant to be like, oh, it's meant to. It's not just about the box, it's about the representation, but I just think, I know we're going to get into it, but the execution was awful in my opinion. There should have been an Isu artifact in that box or something. They were making it seem like that, and then it just was nothing. Oh.
I think because I've been on the Assassin's Creed wiki today for a video, getting research, and funny enough, the wiki actually says that they are Isu artifacts in the box.
But where are they getting that information from?
Exactly. I think they're just coping.
Yeah.
It's pure cope. I was like, where are you citing this?
The AC wiki, that place has helped me out a lot for like the lore videos I've done in the past. However, they do get a few things wrong in there. Like if you'll read something that you know the answer to, and then it will be wrong, and you'll be like, wait, what the hell? Then you start questioning what else they got wrong. So could be wrong, because unless there's is there like a novelization of the game or something where it goes in more depth and it does explain that, or do we know from the AC lore that these were talked about before? Because otherwise, how else are we going to know if it's Isu?
We don't. I mean, the only mention of an Isu artifact in this time period was Hattori Hanzo recovered a Sword of Eden, apparently from Nobunaga, which means it's probably not canon. But apparently he did that before the events of the game.
Bro, that's the only... There are so many Swords of Eden in Assassin's Creed now.
Oh, I know.
Was the Unity one meant to be the same one that Eivor found in England, the Excalibur, or was that different? Because it looked the same. It looked the same.
Is the Sword of Eden not... Does Thomas de Carnellon not put it in the crypt or something at the end of that prologue?
Yeah, but...
I can't remember what actually happens to it.
Yeah, but...
No, that'll be afterwards.
No, Arno ends up having it. Well, I mean, the Grand Master at the end of Unity fights you with it, doesn't it? And then you take it from him at the end. Well, I don't know if that's canon that Arno ends up having it, but he does in the gameplay. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Probably. There's so many Swords of Eden. It's just a nice, easy artifact they can come up with without having to make it, do anything.
I guess
it just shoots lasers.
Yeah, I guess maybe everyone owned a Sword of Eden. It's like America, everyone had a gun back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Everyone had a Sword of Eden beside their bed, just in case of intruders.
Yeah, but unfortunately they did not hide them in any boxes, which
we'll never know. Maybe they did. If we see a big sword-shaped one, we'll know.
Yeah, we might find out in a DLC perhaps, but not in the game.
Yeah. And that is
Not
something. That's a little teaser maybe for the viewers for the main topic, because we're going to be going in for better or for worse. The good, the bad. We're gonna be talking everything. I feel like just based on sort of seeing that we've basically just both sort of got to the end, our raw feelings I feel like we're mostly going to probably end up talking about story, really, aren't we?
I think so. Yes. Well, that's sort of the spoilers, isn't it? I don't think the gameplay particularly changes towards the end or anything like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, everyone's heard everybody talk about the gameplay at this point, so it's like, we're at the point now where probably other people playing have probably got to the point where they're finishing the game, and we're at a nice point now where we can talk about the story, which most people haven't talked about yet unless they do it spoiler free. So we're in a good little place now. This is the most exciting place when everybody finishes it and they can talk about it.
Yeah, because I haven't really heard many people's thoughts on the story, so it was nice to just have my own tunnel vision view on it. And it's like anything. There's some things I liked, some things I didn't like, and I imagine when I was watching certain scenes, I was like, "Oh, the fan base is gonna hit this. They're gonna hit this so much."
Yeah. But before we get into all of that, we're here. We're on the Podyssey. It's good to catch up, and I think I think those viewers enjoy catching up with us. I think obviously we haven't spoke since voice to voice since we did the live episode. So to be fair,
the live episode.
Speaking of the live episode, I think that went pretty well. I was saying to you earlier.
Yes, I think that was a pretty good success. Everything went off without a hitch as well. The technicality side of it, we didn't have any issues. Yeah, because which was good.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I guess you're going to say the same thing. Before we started recording it, we were lagging, we were freezing. Discord did not like us at all. No. So it's a miracle that when we actually got to recording, everything went off all right.
I know. I was a bit worried because one of us would flick our head to the side and then it would just destroy the video footage.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So weird. But it worked out. Yeah, it worked out. I think we were just lucky, to be honest, because you never know what will happen with a live call like that, do you? Could have done anything.
Oh, of course, especially when it's live on the internet as well. Anything could have gone wrong.
Exactly.
We'd have to stop it, and then that's a whole episode you've got to throw out, which was a bit of a shame. But we never needed to do that.
No,
because it went well.
The only thing that obviously I think it couldn't be helped, and I don't think it was to the detriment of the episode or anything like that. But the only thing that I could say maybe is a con from doing it live was my audio, because it was obviously recording me. You were live and you were recording my voice through the call, so my voice sounded a little bit you could tell it was on a call. Do you know what I mean? For me.
Oh, right.
But it wasn't bad at all. It's because obviously it was recording through my mic as well. To you, if that makes sense. It still sounded okay, but you could definitely tell I was calling into you. But other than that, I don't think it was really an issue.
I never noticed that, but I suppose if it's going through one channel to get to another, it's gonna have some sort of distortion or something.
It's just got that sort of online cool filter almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a tinny sort of sound to it.
Yeah, but it wasn't. And sometimes it would dip out when I'd say things because I watched the whole thing back a couple of days later, and there would be a few times I'd say something and my voice would just dip out, but then it was only such a short amount of time that you could still sort of gather what I was saying. So again, it wasn't an issue. But overall, it was a good episode. It was good to chat to them live. People watching now, I'm sure you're recalling back. You were there maybe in the live. We had a good amount of I was gonna say monthly listeners. Was it live viewers?
Viewers, yeah. We had about 20, I think.
Yeah,
was the max.
Yeah, it was sort of all the way through about that as well, which was nice because we had a solid amount of people coming through in the chat. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I would have changed is the actual format of the episode. I think if we were going to do a live episode, it should be more like a Q&A or more engaging with the viewers.
I suppose
instead of nothing wrong with what we did, but it did feel like we were just doing an episode and people were watching. Whereas I would have liked to maybe get like we did like a Q&A at the end. I wouldn't have minded maybe a bit of an episode like just themed on getting people in, because now we know people are going to watch it as well. People will show up, which was also another thing that, we just did a normal episode because we weren't sure whether anyone would actually be there for it.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Maybe if we do another live episode in the future, it can be more maybe interactive, where we it's still a podcast that people can listen back to, but it's, again, we're talking to the chat more maybe, and we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll brainstorm something for the future.
Yeah, because I think we'd like to do some more live streams in the future, but obviously it takes time out of the main episodes as well. So
that's true.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I think obviously as we sort of agreed upon, with this episode, we'll probably end up letting the viewers know before this episode comes out on the channel. But obviously, I'm gonna try and drop this one ASAP, just because. Yeah. It's either we get a week without content for everybody, or we post it ASAP. We can hopefully, cash in on still the sooner the better when a game is trending, isn't it? So
yeah, of course.
I feel like I'm not wording things very well today. Like I'm like stumbling. I'm like, do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, it's fine.
It's because we're out of practice. It feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, I feel a bit out of practice. To be honest, it does feel like a long time, even though it was only like, it's actually less time than our usual recordings.
Yeah, it feels longer though. It feels longer.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was only last Tuesday.
That's crazy. It feels like 2 weeks ago, I'm not going to lie.
It feels like we've took the week off already.
It does. It actually does, yeah. That's weird. It's weird that we both feel that as well.
Yeah, but to be fair, a lot has happened. I mean, we went from maybe halfway through the game to finishing the game.
True.
Technically, I mean, I've had to like spend a couple of days just non-stop playing to try and get it done. Because I was like, I want to make videos, but I want to make sure I've done it, so I'm fact-checked.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
I think
happy to say.
I think I will tell that you know what I'm about to say. You already know. I might as well tell the viewers. I don't think it changes anything.
No.
But
I think it's hilarious if you are saying what I think you're going to say.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it speaks a lot to your thoughts on it.
Okay, guys watching, guys listening. Obviously, I've seen the whole of I've seen AC Shadows through, let's say that, because obviously you guys saw me playing on stream. I was playing, like, I made videos about it. I was playing the game a lot. I got about, I would say, oh god, I don't even know, like, I think 30 hours at this point now into the game. And I think it was about 31 hours if I remember correctly. And I got to this one boss. It was like it was the last target that you fight, it was the boss
Mitsuhide, isn't it? That's his name.
Is it? Yeah. It's like he runs off and Yasuke chases him on the horse, and then you fight as both Yasuke and then Naue. I was on that fight. And it was like, I don't know what level that fight was, level 35 maybe. I was like level 31, so I was like right close to that. But he was like, I think he was either one hitting me or two hitting me so bad. And I kept trying to dodge his attacks, but he kept killing me, and I was stuck on the fight for literally like an hour. And I was like, getting so annoyed. Like, the thing with me, I don't know if you can relate to this, but like, I don't really get annoyed at games too much, but if I get in a boss fight and they keep killing me, it makes me so mad, and I start like going fuck, and like calling these make-believe characters the worst names you can imagine, and like, it's not good. I
feel a bit cheated when I can't like cheese the game and I've got to play by its rules.
Well, the thing is, like, I understand that it's good to have a challenge. I think because we're going to get into this, but because I'm not very enthralled by the gameplay or just the game as a whole, when I got to a hard boss, I just didn't feel the drive to actually like do it and like feel the challenge. All I wanted to do was just get it done. So because I had to keep dodging and evading, getting killed over and over, I got so mad, and I was like, you know what? I don't need this. So I turned the game off. For a few days, I didn't play the game because I was like dreading that boss. I was like, I don't want to do that boss. It's gonna make me so mad. I already had like 3 bosses I was in the same position with that I eventually killed without getting hit once, because if I did, I would die.
So we need to circle back around to that, because I need to ask you about a particular boss in that case.
we will, don't worry. But I'm just giving the context of what I'm about to say, so the viewers are clued up on what's going on. But so what I did, I was debating, like, do I finish the game on the stream? Because if I'll obviously have to quit that mission, and then I'll have to go out and do some side stuff, do whatever I got to do to get XP. I've got to grind, right? So I get higher levels so I can do it. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just don't. And I thought, if I do it on stream, it will be fun, because obviously I did one live stream where I played the game, and it was more fun because I was chatting to everyone. We were like having a good vibe. We were talking about just whatever. And then it got me through it much more better. So I was like, maybe I'll do that. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't know when I had the sort of like time to like go live. And I thought, I don't know. So in the end, I thought, you know what? Screw this. I don't care about the gameplay. I just care about seeing what the end is. So went on YouTube. It's gonna sound like blasphemy to a lot of people, and I understand, but it kind of is. I went on YouTube. I typed in Assassin's Creed Shadows the movie. And I found this 25-hour video of all of the whole game. And I watched that for ages, and I was I got the cutscene at the end of that boss, so I saw what happened then. But then this movie was just, he started going off and doing side stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just here for the movie. I'm not here to watch you play the game. I'm here to watch the cutscenes. So I went off that video. I found a 12-hour video called the movie all main cutscenes, and it just showed all the cutscenes with like a tiny bit of gameplay just to bridge the gap, so sort of how they got to that cutscene. So it wouldn't just cut from one place to another. It would sort of understand how it got there. So I did that, and then I watched that for about 2 hours to get to the ending of the game, and that's how I finished AC Shadows.
Wow.
I saw the ending online. But, that's not going to change anything we talk about today, because I watched that, I made notes about it. Obviously, it would have been just the same as if I was watching those cutscenes, through the game. Obviously, things can feel more tense and feel like more immersive when you're actually playing it. However, I would not have made it to the end if I had to play that. I didn't, so I had to watch it through online. But I know all of the ending, I know all of the story. 90% of the game I played through. That's where I'm at.
To be fair, you did get basically to the end. You just would have needed to do a little bit of grinding to get like the actual ending. Like Templar targets, for example. You to actually get those out the way. Oh yeah, the Duarte. He's the guy beforehand.
The guy on the boat. I killed him.
It's a good sign that I've remembered their names. That's more than I can say for Valhalla.
Yeah, Duarte. Yeah,
Duarte. It's just the amount that he said his name. Just to quickly interject. You know that boss fight you were stuck on?
Yeah.
God, I wish I'd recorded this. I had a bit of a glitch occur afterwards during the cutscene where Naui kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And the glitch I thought was genuinely just really bad mocap, but then I watched, like, to get footage, I was looking at other people's videos and found out that no, it was just in my game. Naui's eyes were like permanently really wide. I don't know how to describe
wide or white?
Wide.
Oh, like far apart.
With a D. No. Like as if her eye, like as if you were exclaiming. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
Like, like that sort of face. Her eyes were permanently like that. So when she goes up to that guy, Mitsuhide, to kill him, and she's like doing this big speech, she just looked so goofy. Like her face looked like a Fallout 4 like character model, gone wrong. The mouth was also like totally wrong.
Oh wow!
Like it looked like her upper lip was like stuck. Like the rig was stuck. I wish I had footage of it.
See, that's why you've got to record all your gameplay.
I know. I was thinking in that moment, I was like, this is why, I should have recorded it. Because it looked so bad. And it took me out of it straight away.
Oh, that would have been a funny little YouTube clip.
I know. Well, I thought that was like how it looked. So I went online and found out that no, I actually did have like a funny experience.
That's so weird.
Thank God, because it looked so bad.
Yeah.
I really hope someone else has had that glitch.
I mean, I didn't actually have that many glitches and bugs, to be honest. I had on PS5, if you put your PS5 into rest mode, it will just suspend the game, so you don't have to load it up again when you turn it on. And I found out this was the reason for it when I looked it up online later. But yeah, I think I said last episode, I kept getting like these audio issues where like just audio would cut out, there'd be no sound effects, it would be all weird. You'd slide, you know when you slide down a hill you can't climb?
Oh yeah.
And it goes like as they're like sliding down. That would be stuck on a loop for ages. It was so annoying. And it turns out if you put your PS5 in rest mode too many times and it doesn't like reload the assets or whatever, it will like start messing up with the sound. That's what someone said online anyway, so they might be wrong, but it makes sense because I always put my PS5 in rest mode. It's in rest mode next to me right now. It's resting on Baldur's Gate 3.
No way! What a surprise!
There it is.
I had one bad bug. I have actually had quite a fair amount of bugs. Not gonna lie, like my experience has been a bit buggy, and I don't know
that drop animation ragdoll thing. I remember you said.
Yes, that happened, and then since then, there was just a stupid bit where I was going on my horse really fast, and I like clipped through a mountain and got stuck in it.
Oh yeah. What it's got stuck in the mountain?
Like in the mountain, like
that happened
you'll have
to
seen
me.
it in
That
other
happened to
video
me.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what happened with me is I was like trying to climb up the hill that I wasn't meant to be climbing up, and then they slid down, got stuck behind a tree, and then I couldn't move, and like Yasuke's face was half in the rock, and you could see through it a little bit. Right. Was that what you mean?
I was like my character model was fully inside the rock's character model within the mountain, so the whole mountain looked like not a mountain but like a hill. Looked like clear, and I couldn't obviously push my way out of it, so I tried swapping characters. My mount was in there with me. I tried everything. I tried to like push through. Well, in the end, I did have to fast travel, but I was wait, I couldn't fast travel because I was on like a slope.
What did you do?
So if I tried to like climb up, well, I just had to reload a save, unfortunately. But I was like permanently sliding down, but because I was at the bottom of the texture, it wouldn't. Again, something I should have recorded, but I just wanted it to be over.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
tried for way too long to try and get it to work because it was one of those locations that was like 5,000 meters away, and I was so close to it, and I just didn't want to reload it.
To be fair, I feel like all of those, like, I know we say mountains, they're hills, aren't they? Really, those hills are so they are buggy. Those hills, like, if you try and go over them with your horse, you clip into the trees all the time. Oh, it's so annoying. Like, I kept thinking back to The Witcher 3 when if you gallop through a forest, you'll naturally weave in and out of the trees, won't you? It's just the way they built it so you don't crash into trees.
God, I forgot
this is
about
the polar opposite of that. You crash into every tree, and your horse does that annoying spin where he goes and he like spins around. Oh man, it's so annoying, and it forces you to just run along the pathways, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny because I've got that dragon mount as well from the Sekiro pack.
Yeah.
And I think the animations on it are totally bugged out because he doesn't... It doesn't gallop... Well, I was going to say I nearly gave him that. It doesn't gallop at the right speed of a normal horse, so it's constantly like... It's doing the Mirage thing where it's like speeding up and slowing down to catch up with the momentum of a normal horse model. And it just looks really weird in motion. Like, you can tell it's too big and it moves too fast for like a normal horse. There's just these little bits where when you're riding around, you're like, oh, it looks like it's at a different frame rate. It's so off what it's meant to be doing.
Is it the same speed?
Yeah, it totally goes the same speed as the others.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I guess this is kind of like our gameplay segment for this video, isn't it? Like,
it's funny. I have no like need to really talk about gameplay in like a formal video. I just don't I don't know. I feel like people have said everything at this point, and I don't disagree.
Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. Like, obviously, yeah, I had to talk about, for me, the parkour, but other than that, like,
Yeah.
what am I going to talk about?
I mean, you said more about the parkour than I would say.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
I've genuinely, like, when it comes to gameplay, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine, it's good, yeah. I don't know how in depth I could go on something that I'm not like particularly interested in.
yeah. I mean, I could bring myself to talk about it in depth, but I don't feel like there's a point.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, like everyone's talked about it now. It would just be repeating, really, won't it? With your own sort of view of it. Whereas maybe that energy could be better spent talking about, you know, again, like the stuff we haven't talked about as much, like the story.
Yeah, I think the story is still a bit untapped because I think a lot of bigger YouTubers are probably just going to review the game and move on, and they're not going to go in depth on the story and stuff. Yeah, they're done. You know, you're not going to get like detailed. No, sorry, I was just. They're not going to go into details like that. They're just going to say, "Oh, I thought the story was good. This is what I like. This is what I didn't." They're not going to dissect it or.
And that's the thing.
Look at the larger impact.
And that's the thing. I feel like a sort of general reviewer of an Assassin's Creed game, you know, from somebody that isn't crazy into the series but has played them, but usually reviews loads of games. For example, that Skill Up review, which was good, but obviously that comes from. I'm not going to specifically say him, but reviews in that sort of realm. I feel like a lot of those reviews and critiques of the game come from like a general game critique that don't quite aren't really thinking about like the themes of Assassin's Creed that it was built off and where does it sit against other things. They're just more like, where does this sit against AAA games today? So I feel like we've got more of a, you know, the Assassin's Creed channels. Or channels that very much are like in deep with Assassin's Creed that know exactly what was done well and bad before. We've got that sort of edge where we can, you know, rank it up compared to these things and know exactly what it's trying to do, what it's not trying to do. Again, like under the lens of like knowing everything about Assassin's Creed, you know? That's our edge, really, isn't it? That's where we get our sort of
that's our unique selling point.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Going more in depth. Yeah, because I feel like at face value, I could just say, yeah, the story's fine. Like overall, yeah, I do think it's fine. It's got its good moments. It's got its very bad moments, but overall, like, yeah, it's perfectly serviceable.
See, I disagree with that.
Oh.
And we'll get into that.
Okay.
Oh man, I have a lot to say.
But I mean, like, if I was writing a review, if I was doing a review and I work for a big YouTube, IGN or something, and I had to make a 5-minute video, I would just go, yeah, the story's perfectly serviceable, you know, has its ups and downs, but overall,
that's interesting. I think if I worked for, like you said, in that same context, I'd probably say something like, I don't know, actually. I don't know. But before we get into all of our story stuff, should we just take a bit of time to sort of, again, we were going to do a little catch up at the beginning and we kind of just didn't do that, did we?
We jumped into it, yeah.
Because obviously I need to go to the toilet right now. So I'll do a little toilet break. Maybe I'll get like a little jingle that we can play every time there's a toilet break.
Oh yeah. Well, there's I wish I could play those sounds on Discord. That would really. Yeah, we should get a jingle.
Shall I do like a funny voice of me going like, "It's a toilet break," and then like I can use that with like a little song, and then we'll use that.
It's a toilet break. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, I'll do that. I'll put it in the edit for this episode. I'm saying it now, so I've got to do it.
Yeah. Or we could just continue to cut them out, I guess.
Well, yeah. Maybe it's like if I ever edit it, and I feel like doing it, I'll do it. But and then that's how people will know who's edited. If there's a weird little toilet break thing, then you're like, it's the Harrison edit. Or if it's like, you know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna run toilet real quick. Okay, I'll be back.
No worries.
All right.
It's a toilet break. Don't even think about it.
What sort of shampoo do you use?
What?
I was just saying, what sort of shampoo do you use? I was just looking around the bathroom and I was looking at my shampoo. And I just thought, I wonder what shampoo Lewis uses.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I could go and find out by going in my bathroom.
Up to you.
I think it's Head and Shoulders or something.
Classic. That's a classic.
I think is
Head and Shoulders.
It's like a white bottle with a blue lid.
Yeah, man. That's Head and Shoulders. I love that. I used to use that all the time.
Yeah. I typically just get. I mean, for like body wash at the minute, I'm using the thing I got for Christmas. Just some a bottle of something. I don't know what it is.
Oh mate, that's a classic Christmas present when like your auntie gets you like shampoo.
Yeah, it's funny. I've actually got the box here. I don't know why. That's so random. I've got the box on top of my
Really?
On top of my computer. Yeah, it's a Ted Baker London.
Oh, I've had that before. That's a classic. Is it? Is it like a black matte bottle?
It was, yeah, and I've got a little tube as well, a little blue tube, holding that up to the camera now.
Nice.
I don't know why that's so convenient that I've got that right here. Bergamot and vetiver.
What?
Vetiver? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
It's probably like a plant from like Saudi Arabia or something, somewhere random. Yeah,
it is quite a weird. I mean, the actual box appears to have like blue jellyfish on it.
Oh, they get you the kiddie version.
No. Like it looks like a slice of orange, but blue.
Oh, is
how I'd describe it, or like the bottom of a jellyfish. I don't know. That's a very strange. It's strange. Anyway.
Well. It's very interesting. See, I use I go for the what am I going for at the moment? I can't remember the name of the brand, but it's like they come in all different colors. You know, you can get it's like a clear bottle of shampoo. You get the green one, which is like the appley one. You can get the one which is there's like a strawberry-ish sort of looking one on the apple at the moment, and I got the apple conditioner for it as well. Sometimes I mix it together Yeah. They need an Assassin's Creed collab.
Oh no, they don't.
You need like
we call like the Misthios.
Oh god.
The
Malacca.
That oiled up skin you can get. Maybe they should introduce some body oil or something.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know why they ever did that. That was strange.
Oh wait, speaking of Malacca, did you see that part in AC Shadows where they said Malacca?
Yes.
I laughed. I was like, what?
With the subtitles on, though, it's different. It's a different word.
What's the subtitles?
The subtitles said it was, like, spelt with a C. Like, 2 C's.
What the hell?
So I don't know if it was a Malacca. Is it the Spanish guy says it?
Yeah, he did.
Spanish assassin
he said Malacca.
Says it.
Yeah.
He did say it, but then I saw the subtitles and I was like, oh, it's not the same word. It just is, it sounds like the same word.
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it on purpose to.
It's of course they did. Yeah. The meaning of Malacca stemmed from the rattan palm used for making canes and umbrella handles. I don't know. That's what it says. Was it raining in Japan that day or something?
Maybe.
I know in Greek it's like fucker or something, isn't it?
It's just a generic swear word, yeah.
Do you know when it was funny when I used to work in this? I used to work. I don't know if you want to say, so I won't say actually. But I used to work a similar place to you, doing a similar thing.
All right.
And I was in the office once.
I mean, I don't mind if you want to.
Yeah, fair enough. But I was in the office, and I used to share an office with these 2 ladies, and one of the ladies, she would name like furniture. Like we'd bring in furniture. Obviously, it was like we were they'd buy from the suppliers and then we'd sell them under our name, sort of thing. And and one of her jobs was to like rename the furniture, and she'd come up with all these cool different names. And she called one of them Malacca. And she called it, I looked over, like she was on her desk, like naming it, and I said, does that say Malacca? And she's like, yeah, it's, she said something what she thought it was. And then I was like, I think that's a swear word in Greek. And then we like looked it up, and then it turns out she spelt it slightly differently, and I think she ended up changing it because she was like, oh, I better not. Oh,
you didn't want to tell her how you found that out.
Yeah, on my screen, the definition of Malaka says a man who masturbates.
Oh, so it's like just wanker.
Wanker, yeah. So
like saying wanker. Right.
Cassandra in Assassin's Creed says throughout the whole game, man who masturbates.
Oh no.
It's probably like dick or like wanker or
just some generic
cock.
Thing. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually did a similar thing in my industry. I named a table because we were uploading like side tables, and I had to come up with loads of different names because they didn't want us using the same names on their website as ours. And I called one of them Ekinde after Basim's eagle.
Oh, again,
because I was so. Is that how you spell? Yeah, I spelt it properly. I just copy and pasted it across because I was like, I can't think of anything right now. I'd gone through like generic names, flowers and stuff, and I just got to the point where I was like, I'm just going to sneak a little Assassin's Creed reference in there. See, I'm sure I did another one, but I can't remember what it was.
I influenced a similar thing once, but carry on.
Oh, I can't remember. No, I genuinely can't remember what the other one was. It was something along those lines, or it was like a name of a pet or something in Assassin's Creed. Because I didn't want to just call one of them Altair, because then my boss would be like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well,
Stop that.
To be fair though, because it wasn't me who would do it, but I sat next to the person that did it. One time I said, "Oh, you should." They were like, "What shall I call something?" And I said, "What about Arno?" And then they called it Arno. And then I tried to sneak in one day. I was like, "Oh, one day you should do an Ezio." And they didn't know they didn't know what Assassin's Creed was, so they were like, "Oh, yeah, that's a cool name." And then they looked it up. They looked up Ezio online, but then it actually just showed some like Italian singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they were like, "Oh,
Ezio's not the number one Ezio."
Well, he probably is if you go on images, but typed in Ezio at the time at least, and it came up with some singer like on the list, and that's what they focused on. I'm sure on the page. No, you type in Ezio now, it just comes up with Wait, what the hell? Sorry, I've just typed in Ezio, and it says played by. It says on Google, it says played by Roger Craig Smith. It also says Devon Bostick, who is the guy that was Roderick in Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Who does he play?
He plays him in Lineage.
Wait,
the live action prequel. Yeah.
Oh, as a kid.
Yeah, like young Ezio, like nobleman Ezio. Yeah, there's a bit where
I did not know that. I did not know it was Roderick. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because everybody else in that scene is played by like the face model. Like, Rodrigo is played by the guy who plays Rodrigo, and the only person who isn't is Ezio, and he looks so out of place compared to like,
Well, how can you though? He's a kid.
Yeah. No, but he's like the age he is in AC2 at the beginning.
Wait, I thought he was like a little.
They're
like
all sat around the
10-year-old.
dinner table. No.
Really?
Like Lineage takes place like months before
What?
AC2.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, hang on. Let me.
Nah, you're probably right. I probably just I watched it a long time ago. I'm probably misremembering it.
I watched it. I watched it recently. Not recently, but like a few years ago. And because I just wanted to. It's fun because in AC2, like the graphics are so terrible, but they are using real people's faces, so it's kind of cool to watch Lineage and see like all of the actual face actors. Like this is as real as those characters could ever be.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it's got going for it. It's absolutely dreadful.
Well, it's like short as hell, isn't it? How long is it?
Yeah, it's like half an hour.
It's just a little.
Oh, I've accidentally copy and pasted an entire script. Oops. Hang on. I've got the picture. I just need to hang on. Save it. And then
I forgot where I was actually going with that when I randomly. I don't know, whatever. But wait, what are you doing?
You just randomly found. I'm just gonna send you what he looks like.
Oh yeah.
In that film, there you go.
Oh my god!
It's Ezio.
That's
Ezio.
crazy. That isn't Ezio. That's Roderick. That's Roderick rules.
long hair. That's Rodrigo.
That's loaded diaper right there. Oh my
Is he
god.
the same one who's in Oppenheimer?
Yeah, he is.
Briefly. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I like him. He's doing well.
Maybe could he still play Ezio, do you reckon?
I mean, he probably could, but it doesn't really look like him, does he?
No.
Maybe I saw him in it and I didn't think that was Ezio.
To be fair, it doesn't really look like him.
Yeah.
It's only because that whole film has like a weird orange filter over it. Very, very strange looking. But yeah, there he is.
There he is. That's crazy. That's kind of cool. That's Roderick. I always see posts about Roderick online. On like Instagram, you see, people always post about Roderick and like show all the photos of things he's been in. Maybe I just have a Roderick algorithm.
Maybe I was gonna say I've never seen this.
Just cursed memes and then Roderick.
I've never actually watched those films.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, really.
Damn.
I heard there was another Roderick that nobody likes.
Oh, we don't talk about that. Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh.
It was. I mean, I didn't watch it, but like I watched a video essay on how it was so bad, and I came to think that was probably correct. Oh man, you gotta watch Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That is one of like our generational movies.
Yeah,
so
to be fair, yeah, I do.
It's
feel
just
like I missed out on
relatable.
that.
It's just like I watched it at the cinema. I remember the first one.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, it's so good that like it's just like it's almost it's almost like have you ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
It's like a kid's version of that almost, because like Greg is just such a like he's not a good guy. Like he's always doing really bad things to his friend, and he's really selfish and stuff. But like it's funny, and he gets into like relatable situations where like he just gets humiliated. It's so funny. Yeah, you can't hate on Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I mean, if you are sort of the age we are, where like we were kids when it came out. And like it's aged well in the fact that like you can enjoy it as an adult as well, because it is like it's like clever humor, and it's like relatable, like you've all been in these situations like that, rather than, and that's why, and I don't know why I'm talking about this now, but that's when I watched that video essay on the fourth movie where they recast everybody and it was a new director, new writer. That's why it flopped so hard.
Is that what they did?
It flopped so hard because they took Greg out of relatable comedic situations and they put him in unrealistic situations where like he'd be flying down the road in like a boat and stuff, and it's like as he's going down. It's like that's funny for like tiny kids, but like no one's been in that situation, so you can't relate.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh man,
kind of reminds me of the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean film, where there's like a whole it's like a church. There's some funny set piece with a church where the whole thing is like sliding down.
I remember that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when I was like, it's just a little bit too far.
You say that though.
Too goofy.
You say that though, but in the second one, they're literally spinning round like a hamster wheel in like a windmill thing that's fallen off. Do you remember? They're like fighting on it.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. Like there's certain things that I guess it's just
push it a little bit too far.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when it comes to Pirates of the Caribbean, 1 to 3 they're always going to be the best.
Oh, absolutely.
They're so. I need to rewatch them.
Yeah, I remember the fourth one put me to sleep.
Did it? Oh my god.
Oh, it's so boring. Nothing happens in it. Nothing happens in it.
See, like I still like those films, but they're not as good. That's for sure. I still like them.
I did actually end up liking the fifth one. I mean, it's just like a very, what's the word? It's like fast food. It's just like a very quick sort of fun adventure, get it over with, but it's nothing you're going to remember in a couple of days.
That kind of reminds me of AZ Shadows. to me personally.
Oh, damn. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. It was that. Maybe that was like the weirdest segue of all time. We had to get to Diary of a Wimpy Kid and then Pirates of the Caribbean to get to the topic.
Just to naturally segue across.
Yeah. Should we get into the main topic?
Oh man, should we?
Tell me what how did I know I did watch your video on it, but like maybe just to reiterate for the viewers that may not have seen your video, how did you come out of Assassin's Creed Shadows feeling, you know, when you'd finished it? What was the raw reaction?
When the credits started playing,
Yeah.
I sort of went, oh, right, that's it. It's done. I was very surprised because it didn't feel like we were at the end yet. It's almost like the second the story really gets going and ramps it up a bit, it sort of just stops. It kind of just says, okay, yeah, we're done. We're going to save the rest for later. You know, maybe we'll do a DLC. Now, the order I did it in was I did Naoya's ending first, and then I did Yasuke's. And I was totally unaware that these were like the proper definitive endings. I was just thinking, oh, I'll do Naoya's first because I'm more interested in Yasuke's. And then I ended up getting the credits as soon as Yasuke... Well, I suppose we should say full spoiler alert from here.
Yeah.
When Yasuke kills Nuno Karo and he walks away, the credits just play immediately. Like, it doesn't even give it a minute to breathe. It's like, okay, no, we're done. We're done. That's it. You don't get any more. And I was already thinking with Naoya, I was like, are we going to do like a whole... Is there like another 10 hours to this game where we go and find her mother? And it turns out that, yes, there is. It's just not in this game.
You got to buy it. You've got to buy that.
Yeah.
You have to buy the true ending.
Yeah. I mean, I've got it for free because I pre-ordered, but that doesn't make it any better.
Yeah. I don't know, because I got a review code, I don't know if they're going to give away free DLC codes. So, I mean, I'm not going to play it, but if I did, I'd have to buy it.
You're not going to play it?
Oh, no, I'm done.
Is that what I hear?
I don't need to, because, again, I know we're going to get into all of this, but, like, the way I see it, I know it's not going to get any better for me. I know I'm just going to be left disappointed and annoyed again, so there's no point. Like, how can they...
Damn.
They're not going to step up in a DLC from the main game to me, you know? It's not going to... Like, what I want out of it isn't going to come. So, I'm not going to... I'm not going to bother. But I will, you know, I'll just hear your thoughts on it and when it comes out. And maybe watch some of your videos on it and stuff.
Well, they said it's over 10 hours of content, so it's probably about 10 hours in a minute.
Yeah, or it's going to be 5 hours.
In terms of actual content, it's probably like 5 minutes of cutscenes, and the rest is just completely island to unlock the final cutscene.
Yeah.
They did that in Odyssey, so I have no doubt they're going to do that again.
It is the same developers and writers. Well, maybe not the same writers, but it's the same team.
I couldn't believe when I finished. It's part 1 of the Fate of Atlantis, Elysium. You have to complete everything in the map to unlock the next DLC.
God, do you actually? That's insane.
100%.
It's the grind,
every
isn't
single
it?
thing.
It's like you.
Yeah.
They're literally forcing you into it because if you pay for it and then you realize you're literally forced to do it. But it's not fun. I don't know why they do games do this. It can be done well. Like I remember The Witcher 3 had a little bit of level gating where like some main quests would be a few levels above and you would get destroyed. But like there were so many like tied quests to those main quests that you didn't have to do, but they embellished and added towards those quests that they felt like main stuff that you would then want to go on and do. And by the time you'd done those, you'd be ready for the next main quest. I don't think Shadows had anything like that. It was all just like
it
very...
It sort of has them after the fact.
Yeah, it like all the stuff you had to do to level up is just has no bearing on the main story whatsoever. So there's just this feeling of disconnect. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I feel like once you'd killed the target, you would then get a new wheel unlock with like all the characters you'd met along that arc, where you could then carry on their storylines afterwards. So I've still got like a load of different characters that I need to go and meet again to probably carry on and do some fetch quests. But yeah, it probably could have been integrated better. I did kind of prefer the more linearity of it though, that it was a bit more like, do these 4 quests, get the target, which is kind of what the old AC games were structured like. They were just linear instead of like, pick which of these like investigations you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were moments where I kind of got a glimpse of classic AC throughout, especially at the end and with those flashback missions. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, I think it's fair to say, once the credits rolled.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for me, obviously, when I finished that YouTube video,
Yeah.
you know, I shared the same sort of sentiment as you, through the game. I really, my first, again, I've said this before, but I'll say it again for new viewers. First 10 hours of the game, absolutely loved it. It was that, I was driven by wondering where it could go. I think the first 10 hours were pretty solid. Yes, the prologue and stuff did feel a little all over the place, and I would have definitely done it differently, but that's not to say it wasn't like compelling. There was a level of mystery to what's in the box. At this point, it's still fresh, so you still care.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying it, and I got to the part where it was more focused in the first 10 hours as well, because you're purely playing as Naoe until Yasuke comes into it. First 10 hours I thought were great, but then after that, I'm just reiterating this for any new viewers and maybe a recap for some who forgot what I think about it. And then, from past that 10 hours, everything just dropped off for me. Like, I felt like once Yasuke came into things, everything just felt like it had a level of disconnect. Like, I was hoping there would be an exploration of these characters, and it never explored them. Like, I don't know much about Naoe or Yasuke. Like, I don't know much about their personality. I know what drives them, but I don't feel like I know, like, I feel that emotion from them. I don't feel any chemistry between Naoe and Yasuke, because they never really spoke in a way that wasn't just to do with, okay, we need to go here and do this.
I need to ask you about that.
Yeah, I just feel like the writing was so poor, and that on top of the gameplay loop I got so bored of. It just felt like I was slogging through something I didn't want to be at. And then by the time stuff started getting good at the end, I was like so mentally checked out that like I didn't care anymore. Like when it came to that, I maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, so we'll probably reel it back once I finish this sentence. But when it got to that end bit with Yasuke fighting, his mother gets killed by Nuno Karo and all this. The assassin comes on screen, like in a vacuum is really cool. That's proper Assassin's Creed stuff. It looks really cool. I'm just sat there thinking, why was this not at the beginning of the game to like set up a motivation? Also, well, I mean that they should have, in my opinion, had the Templars as the main targets through the game, and then there would have been more motivation. You could have explored Yasuke's character more that way. Each target, he could have killed the target and said, who is Nuno Karo? Where is he? And it could have been like stuff that way, exploring that. And I just feel like, these characters weren't explored properly. I think the story was just a mess. Like, again, why was that scene at the end, right at the end, when it has no bearing anymore? It just felt silly. That's how I came out of the game feeling like, why do they always, in the last like few years, get into this like cycle where they have a cool first 10 hours, they have a fairly cool last like 5 hours, and then the rest of the game just nothing happens. I don't know why they keep doing this. The pacing is terrible. That's how I came out of the game feeling, just incredibly disappointed. And it hurt the most because you do get glimpses into really cool things that, do serve the themes of Assassin's Creed, coming from us fans who are definitely looking for the stuff that made us fall in love in the series to begin with. You see those small ounces of things that happen, again, like that end Yasuke scene and, Yasuke's end sort of few sequences. And then you just wonder, like, why can't they keep that up through the rest of the game? Why does it have this level of just disconnect? That's how I came out of the game feeling. Sorry if I got ahead of myself there.
No.
Better
to let it out. I'm thinking that does sort of.
This is my therapy.
Get me thinking.
To get through, to realize the trauma this game has put on me. No, I'm just kidding, but.
Well, it is interesting because there's two different ways of looking at it. There's like the narrative reason, and then there's like the Ubisoft sort of reason for doing things. So on one hand, you could say, they wanted to save the story for the end. They wanted it to be like an origin story, a bit of a soft reboot, and slowly build up the Assassin and Templars until at the end you're a bit more aware of who they are, and that could expand into potential proper brotherhood later down the line. But I think the Ubisoft answer is that they wanted to hold off from addressing it as soon as possible, but still wanted to address it. They still wanted to have Templars and Assassins in there just to keep the angry fans at bay, but also do it as late on as possible that anybody who just came for the shinobi fantasy would have dropped off by then. I do think the story would have massively benefited from being told chronologically, and also
of course,
I just get the feeling that there wasn't enough story to split between the two characters. I think, you have got two separate characters, so technically they've only got half as much screen time each, but even then, it feels like their stories don't progress until the end, whereas you've got, let's say, 2 hours worth of content. You could have maybe tried to spread that out a little bit more with Yasuke, maybe at the end of every 3 targets for these Shinbakufu, who are totally pointless in the game. They are totally a red herring.
They're wasting
to make
your
think
time, quite literally.
Yeah. They're there to make you think that they are the big bad, and then you get the twist reveal that, oh no, the Templars are behind it, and now we're going to do the Assassin's Creed game at the end.
It's so weird.
Where it should have been. It is a weird pacing, but narratively, if you think about it on paper, that is quite a good idea. The Templars are secretly behind it all. Okay, fair enough, that's cool. But the way it's executed is that you get nothing for 20 hours of the game until they're jump scared into the last 10 minutes, whereas they should have been something that Yasuke is actively investigating throughout, because his character stops the second he joins Naoe. It stops. It's only when you finish Naoe's storyline and get the box that it's finally Yasuke's like, oh yes, that's it. I had something to do. I'm here for a reason. And then he goes after the Templars.
And just to go on your point where you said about, what is it? Narratively speaking, the concept is good that, it's secretly orchestrated by the Templars. They're actually pawns. Yeah, of course, that's a cool idea. But
for the first few hours of the game, not for the whole thing.
Exactly. What would have been much better, even if it was the whole game in the way it was, if you used those pawns as a pawn to focus on those Assassin Templar themes where because they obviously are meant to be that they want to dominate the land, and they're very Templar-esque in their viewpoints. So explore that. Don't just say what's in the box and then like you did in the video, just dead. It's explore that, and then you're gonna satisfy those fans. But you're gonna satisfy people that like a good story. But I think the issue is the writing. It's gonna sound mean, but the writers who wrote this game are just so bad. I don't know how they've got a job. They are terrible. I'm just gonna say how it is. Again, I've said this before. Anything you can conjure up in your head about a cool Assassin's Creed story, it will never be as good when you play a new Assassin's Creed game. It's never as good. It's always the most boring, surface level story that can be come up with these days. And I think, in my opinion, that's what Shadows ended up being. It's just, I just genuinely don't know how. I think it's embarrassing. The right level of writing and story, dialogue, this overall script. I just think it's all embarrassingly, shockingly terrible. I just wonder how it gets approved. I just do, because I literally have no words. We will have words, but you know what I mean. Figuratively.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be a bit more harsh on this than you are, because I feel more annoyed about it. So I know I do that. So if you ever want to counter anything I say, feel free. But
well, I can't defend the writing. I really can't defend the writing, because it is sort of. It's not helping the characters at all. I mean, I can't, like you said earlier, you can't point to a character trait for Naoe or Yasuke, and I'm the same.
Nothing. There's nothing.
Yasuke's story is good, and I like the journey he goes through, but him himself doesn't really get much. And what I was thinking as well, these Shinbakufu, every time they die, they just go, eh.
Yeah.
And what's bad about that is Naoe only ever asks them about the box. She never asks them about what the actual arc was about.
Yeah.
So what the problem is that there's some arcs where you can't tell them apart because it's like the same motion of events, and at the end now it asks them about the box. These targets, if they're going to be unique, they have to have their own perspectives and have different, reflections of what's been going on. Like, I think there's that storyline where there's some guy's brother. Honestly, I can't remember half of them.
Yeah.
But, you think that the dialogue would have reflected what he feels towards his brother and, like, how the stakes are and maybe some insight into their past. But they try and do that throughout the storyline before they die, so that by the time they die, there's no need for a confession because there's, like, nothing else left to say. And that leaves them being very forgettable because, again, they're not really a presence in the story until you kill them.
Yeah, exactly. It's...
And I know it's not really a fair comparison, but Yasuke was a slave.
Yeah.
And we have Adewale, who was also a slave, who is infinitely better written.
Yeah.
There is so much more about his character without ever needing to show him being a slave and use the easy answer. The easy way to get people to sympathize with him is to show him as a slave. Freedom Cry, Black Flag, never did it. It never went there. You understood through his actions, he felt safe on the jackdaw, and they never needed to explicitly tell you. He never had to go, oh, I only feel safe on the jackdaw because I'm black and there's nowhere I will be accepted. He just, you get it through the
actions
context
speak louder
clues.
than words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Yasuke is, like, I was doing half of the game as Naue, and Yasuke will just jump scare into some of the cutscenes.
Yeah,
he just appears in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, right, I guess you were here this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, even that boss fight that you said you were stuck on starts with Yasuke and Naue both speaking to the villain, and I was like, oh, it's going to make me choose who
she
to
just
do
came
the
out
boss
of
fight
nowhere.
as.
Yeah.
So, did this happen for you? Because in my game, Yasuke started doing the backflip, and then it's only when he landed. Yeah, my game must have just been totally
Mate,
broken.
I don't know. It's your PC, bro.
I think this was my PC, to be fair. I don't think it was
my
keeping
God.
up. But so Yasuke did the backflip over him, and then when he landed, he like glitched into Naue, and I was like, oh my God,
I wish
was that
you
meant to
recorded
happen?
this, man.
Yeah, I also had another thing occur where I had two Naues on screen instead of Yasuke
my
because I was
God.
playing as Naue. And like I think I was in the wrong position. Like Naue was doing the mocap stuff, but then I was playing as Naue in the game, so she was also like there was just two versions of Naue, and it just looks so
goodness,
bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Maybe they polished every copy of the game except mine before release.
You got that unreleased copy that leaked out.
Yeah, I got my November version.
Yeah.
What was that for?
Yeah.
They didn't give me it early. They gave me the old version.
Yeah.
They gave me it late.
Oh man, can I? But because obviously we're gonna get into all of this. I wonder if it could be interesting to just to properly show sort of where our viewpoints are at. If we both maybe give sort of what we would do, what we would have done instead for the story.
Oh, that's an assignment, isn't it?
Well, I'm thinking now, like this might be not. I might change my mind as I'm saying off the top of my head, but shall I tell you what I think?
Yeah, go for it. So this is your pitch on how to improve Shampoo's story.
It's a work in progress. I might end up changing my mind because again, I'm just going off what I think now, and I might, if I end up writing stuff down on a script, it might change. But I think off the top of my head, again, as I said earlier, that whole scene at the end with Yasuke, on the ship getting wronged by Nuno Karo, that I would have had at the first scene of the game would have been that. He would have been on the ship. You would have thought, okay, who's this guy? Is this Yasuke? You would have seen the mum. It sets up a motivation for him to go on this journey, right? You see he's been wronged by Nuno Karo. It sets up the Templars. It sets up, again, the motivation for revenge. Now, moving on from that, if I was to do this game, Naue wouldn't be a character. It would be Yasuke. We said this together before, but Yasuke would be this hybrid samurai assassin, almost like how you can kind of play around in Ghost of Tsushima. It's a similar game style as that, where you got the katana, you're strong, you're powerful when you're in a fight, but you're also nimble.
Yeah.
You can move around, and he would have had like, would have ended up having like half samurai, half rogues.
I have an interjection for that.
Yeah.
So guess what? They already did that with Hattori Hanzo in AC Memories.
Yeah.
But they retconned it out. He's a ninja trained by samurai.
Yeah, well, there you go. Like
in the lore, in the lore. I still think back to the way you said it in that Dragon's Den episode.
What did I say?
You were like, how does this relate to the law? How does it relate to the law?
Yeah,
and I just keep thinking of that every time I say it. But anyway, they say it on his like wiki entry that he was part of a ninja clan, and then when he joined the assassins, he learned like the way of the samurai. So they already had him right there. They had him right there.
They literally had that. And even if they wanted to move on to the idea of Yasuke, which I think again was a cool conceptual idea, then cool. Yeah. So I would have had that scene start up. I would have, he would have seen a glimpse of the assassins. So that would have been his motivation to join the assassins and his motivation to fight against the Templars.
Was that an assassin? I couldn't tell. They didn't look anything like it.
The guy with the hidden blade was an assassin, wasn't it?
But he didn't look anything like an assassin.
Well, yeah, but he was
Shinobi.
He was part of that Shinobi sect, wasn't he, of assassins, the one that we learn about later on in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Ubisoft's excuse not to put them in white and red robes.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Well, that happens. I would have had that be the intro scene to the game. You start with a bang. Again, you set up these motivations. You set up a reason for this story to begin. I would have got rid of the Shimbokfu, or whatever they're called. I would have had just the Templars, right? They've invaded this land. This is something Templars very much do. I wouldn't have had the samurai as the Templar-esque villains. For example, the samurai in Ghost of Tsushima, they're pretty good and honorable people, and they don't really fight for control. They fight for a free land, funnily enough. So I would have had maybe not the samurai be the assassins. I would have still had the assassins be more shinobi-esque, but they would have actually been assassins. And I would have had him basically end up maybe training with Nobunaga, whatever he's called. I always struggle saying his name.
And Nobunaga.
Yeah. And perhaps because obviously something else that like messed with my head through the game, right, was that it was very clear that Nobunaga wasn't that good of a guy. He was a bit of a tyrant. He had more Templar motivation, like esque motivations. But then through the entire game, you did not once have Yasuke start to question, was my old friend as good as he was, honorable as I thought? Maybe, have a bit of a discussion, exploration about that. He just, even though he believed in literally very different merits than his best friend who died, he still said, like, I honor you, you were a great leader, this and that. And it literally counteracts everything he believes. So what I would have had, maybe the samurai overall wouldn't have been these terrible people, but maybe Nobunaga was. He trains with this guy. I would have had maybe Nobunaga is part of the actual Templars, let's say. I would have had Yasuke be groomed to become a Templar. He agrees with, he appreciates what Nobunaga's done for him, so by default, he becomes a Templar without really knowing the gravity of what a Templar means, let's say. Without realizing that Nuno Karo was one. Now he's actually joined the enemy he's trying to destroy, but he doesn't know enough to realize that. So then he's literally on enemy lines. He doesn't know, let's just say. Then we got then I do wonder if Naoe would have been a cool character as like a side character, because like maybe Naoe could have entered the fray. She could have done the same thing that happened where she kills Nobunaga for tearing down her village and killing all her family. And then you have that same scene where Yasuke sees Naoe. He says, the blade, it's you. This whole thing happens. Maybe that stays the same. But then I would have then basically had Naoe and Yasuke be explored more by him basically having it out for her, hunting her down. But then it gets to a certain point, I don't know exactly how off the top of my head, but he starts to see the wrongdoings of Nobunaga. Maybe this is before he dies or something. He starts to see the wrongdoings of Nobunaga. He starts to realize, these are actually the same merits of what I'm fighting against, of what got me in to be a slave in the first place. He starts to have this slow transition to following the merits, of the Brotherhood, which Naoe is very much part of. He ends up switching sides. That's kind of the gist of what I would have done, and I would have had those Shinbukfu to not be in the game, but to just be some Templars are Japanese, samurai maybe. Some Templars are the Spanish, and I would have really tightly connected that all together. Most importantly, I would have explored those characters more and actually allowed the player to connect with that character. And one thing a lot of people haven't mentioned, which I've been thinking this whole time, is I actually think it would have been quite good for Yasuke's development and relatability, or not relatability, but like, empathy with the character, is if they actually explored like more prejudice towards him in the world. Because like at the time, that he was literally a slave, and people would have looked down upon him in everyday life just based on the land and the culture at the time, right? And I think this isn't anywhere near on the same level, but just as like a weird sort of comparison, in The Witcher 3, people have been racist to Geralt all the time. They like spit on him. You literally hear NPCs spit when you walk past them in Novigrad and stuff. Because they see him as a freak. They are very judgmental of him, and it helps you it helps you to empathize with Geralt and think, so he's more than just a guy that goes about and does stuff. He's not just a random hero. He's got these flaws, he's got his own flaws, but then he's also got this stuff he's got to deal with, which helps you to understand his character more, and it can be explored. And I think with Yasuke, something similar, I think, would have definitely helped his character, because then he would have, if he ended up, as they always said in the marketing material for Shadows, like Yasuke will liberate the Japanese people or whatever, it would have showed him to be a really sort of righteous character then, because he's liberating the people that despise him. And I think that would have gone into his character more. There's a lot they could have done that they just didn't touch upon at all. I just think, I'm not going to say, who knows if I'm a really good story writer. I've never really written a story for like anything to do with a game or movie. All I've done is script YouTube videos. But like I do genuinely believe I could have done a million times better of a job than the writers at Ubisoft, for Quebec. And I just think like, I just wonder why there aren't good writers at these big studios if I can come up with a much better idea. It's just weird. So that's kind of the idea I would have gone for. I would have incorporated, if we're going to have a box, then the box is going to have meaning. Not just there for no reason.
I just wouldn't have had the box. The box is stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's lazy. They should not.
Yeah. I think so too. I think the story would have been a lot different. It wouldn't have needed a box. Also, one thing that's so dumb, I would not have had the dad tell Naue everything at the beginning of the game.
No.
And then she just decides to remember. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I do need to ask you what you would have done differently if you have any ideas.
Well, yes, I think along the same lines, when we first saw that cinematic trailer, we were under the impression that Yasuke was a bad guy who turns to work for the good guys. And I think it would have been, I don't know quite how it would have been executed, but it would have been really cool if Yasuke was enslaved by the Templars, as we saw at the beginning. Or well, I'm pretending it's at the beginning, but the beginning of his timeline. The very end of the game, where we finally find out that he was enslaved by Templars. And then he ends up like joining them, because he, maybe he's given the opportunity to come out of being a slave, and he takes that opportunity straight away. He doesn't hesitate, even though he's joining the bad guys. He doesn't hesitate because he knows what it's like to be on the other side of it. So he's kind of like bullied into joining the Templars.
He sees no other way out, I guess.
Yeah, so we could have like a couple of sequences where he is full on Templar and he's doing shifty things, and maybe Nuno Caro kind of like sort of walks away from the situation, and we get introduced to other Templars that are Japanese, and maybe they respect him more, and he slowly starts to, maybe a bit like Edward, where he sort of goes, maybe I could sort of live like this, and maybe this could be good for me. But then Nuno is like always in the background, like putting him down, and there is like a proper dynamic there between the two, and Nuno is present throughout the entire story. Like, he should be in some of these cutscenes, like talking to the Shin Bakufu, and you know, guiding them in the wrong direction. Like, that sounds like something that should have been there from the start.
Exactly, build up through the game so it actually has a payoff at the end when he dies. Not just...
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to hijack what you're saying, but, you know, not just to have him just appear right at the last minute like an afterthought. It's, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's weird because he doesn't seem like an afterthought because of the way the story's structured. It's just that they played their cards too late.
Yeah, it's like...
It's not even a card that needs playing. It's not like a twist reveal, oh, the Templars were behind it. That should be the plot.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a bit in the beginning of Origins where you kill the first 5 targets and you think the game's, like, done. And then it unveils this massive web that Bayek wasn't even aware of. And I just feel like that's what they should have done. You should kill all the Shinbakufu in the first 10 hours as Yasuke, and then Nobunaga dies. Nobunaga, by the way, should have absolutely been a Templar.
Yeah.
I thought when those Portuguese guys showed up that they were the Templars and they were going to make peace with Nobunaga to team up, but that's not what happened. So why Nobunaga wasn't a Templar, I don't get, because he should have been on the same side as Yasuke, and it's only when Nobunaga dies that now Yasuke has nobody left that sort of appreciated him. He's stuck with the nasty Portuguese Templars that are racist towards him and all this stuff. And he then sees like what the assassins are doing, and he's sort of, you know, there needs to be a gradual shift over to the assassins eventually. And I think Hattori Hanzo should have been the one to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to say about him.
I'm making a separate video on him anyway, okay. But when I was researching that, I looked on the wiki, and would you believe, in real life, Hattori Hanzo served under Nobunaga.
God, it was literally right
the
there.
writing, it was right there, that Hattori Hanzo could have been working for Nobunaga, but he was an assassin, Yasuke was a Templar, and then he's like...
It's almost like
once Nobunaga dies, it needs to turn into chaos.
Yeah.
And Hanzo could be like, well, Yasuke, you know, the point of reason here is to join the assassins. And then, you know, it takes a little bit of time for him to get that because he's still a Templar. He's still been raised under those ideologies, you know, because he probably just naturally, through osmosis, became a Templar, like in his ideology.
Yeah.
So that needs to be like sort of taken away from him, and through memory corridors and targets, we can slowly strip away the Templar ideals until all that's left is the assassin that we get at the end. There you go. There's my pitch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Silly writers.
So would you have had would you not have had Naue as a protagonist in the game?
Look, I've said it before. I don't think Naue needs to be in the game.
No, I agree. And it's annoying.
She's there to have good mechanics, which could have easily been given to Yasuke if they just made him. There's a piece of concept art in the art of Assassin's Creed Shadows, right, that depicts Yasuke as like a thin, tall samurai. He's not like a bulky giant. He's just like a normal looking dude.
Also,
and that guy, I can see being an assassin.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, they always make people too big in the games, like unrealistically big. Like no one exists that big in real life. Maybe now, maybe in modern day with like certain steroids, some people might. But like back in the day, you would not have like a 7 foot tall, girthy man that just. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't get how even Diogo, how he was as big as he was. Like that is not the situation he would have been in at all.
Yeah. I mean, I know, here's the thing, right? A lot of people, I think the reason Ubisoft get away with just telling just awful, boring, shoddy stories, you know, modern Ubisoft, let's say, is because I think a lot of the like Assassin's Creed fan base, for example, and I'm not saying everyone, so please don't get offended, anyone watching, but there are a lot of people that they don't care, right? They're just playing for the story. You know, it is that junk food game where you're just, you know, you're going around the world, you're going to the camps, the temples, you're leveling up, you're attacking enemies, you're getting cool gear. Like that's what people like, right? And if there's a little story that will just give them a reason to do that, then that's fine. But I just think I just don't think these games are made with story in mind anymore. Whereas that's what they used to be made completely with story in mind. And that's the cutoff, really. That's like the not the cutoff. What's the word? That's like the juxtaposition. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think the the story is made to fit the world instead of the world fitting the story.
Yeah, like I think back in the day they would have thought, right, where's the story gonna go? And they would have slowly come up with these ideas, which would have led to the setting, which would have led to then the gameplay. Whereas now it's the other way around. It's like, right, how are we gonna add these gameplay mechanics? Oh, okay, so we're gonna do this place. Okay, so how might we make an easy story there? Well, not very well. So we'll focus on warriors in that country, and then we'll tie them in at the end. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it is now.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a... I mean, a lot of people, before, we got to the end of the game, all I was hearing was, oh, it picks up in the last 5 hours. The last 5 hours, it's amazing.
But then
it becomes a proper Assassin's Creed game. It doesn't. It is along the lines of what you've been doing already. It doesn't have this magical... It's not Valhalla. Valhalla did have a massive uptake in quality the second you finished the map.
Yeah, that's because Darby wrote it, and he got to actually do what he wanted to do at that point.
Yeah, well, I suppose that is a question. Do you think, because this game has no Isu elements whatsoever, there is barely a hint of sci-fi in this entire story, do you think that was to the game's detriment?
Yes, 100%, because, I'm not saying every Assassin's Creed game has to have a fuck ton of modern day elements, anima stuff, but I think it needs to have... If it's not going to have animus and Isu elements, then it needs to go in more on the assassin elements, to justify using the IP, to justify it being an Assassin's Creed game. So if it's not going to do that, then yeah, maybe it should use a bit of the sci-fi elements. And because I don't think Assassin's Creed Shadows did any of that really, it just felt like a Japanese samurai and ninja game at the end of the day, which could be any IP. I think... to justify it being Assassin's Creed, yeah, they should have focused on one or the other. So, if they're not going to do Assassins as much, then tell those Assassin's Creed story themes through modern day stuff with the Isu stuff. And they slightly touched upon that stuff, but it was just so that they could try and shut people up or it was very clearly... excuse me, I just don't think Quebec care for Assassin's Creed. I think they just want to make their own warrior history games, and Ubisoft say, it's got to be Assassin's Creed, so that the developers are like, okay, fine, we'll tie in a few things here and there to let it pass as an Assassin's Creed, but I don't think it does pass as an Assassin's Creed. Not as someone who knows what an Assassin's Creed could be, was.
It did feel awkward, mind. I actually did feel awkward during the scenes where they talked about the assassins. Like, the writers were either extremely restricted on what they could and couldn't do, or it was it's like a purposeful spite against them.
It does feel like it,
to try and undermine the assassin. That scene, which you'll have played before watching the cutscenes, the scene where the Jesuit, the Portuguese guy, is telling Yasuke about what happened with Ezio.
Oh yeah.
Did you get that scene? Beforehand.
I
now that's meant to be, that's meant to be like a, oh shit, he's talking about Ezio sort of scene, but he sort of goes, oh, they were defeated by this mysterious organization that nobody knows anything about. I'm like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean nobody knows about it? Like, Ezio's Brotherhood were the most explicit assassins. Like, they were out in public. Ezio was making speeches.
He was hiring people all down the roads.
Yeah, he's literally like the liberation of Rome has begun. Like, did they think that Rome was liberated by no one?
Yeah, they literally had a big battle at the end in the streets.
Yeah,
he carried the apple around Rome for a bit, didn't he? Using it.
Yeah, even in AC2, I know that's not in Rome, but he's making speeches at the bonfire. He's making everybody aware that the assassins are back and that they're a presence, and I just. That line where he says, oh, they were defeated by a mysterious organization, that felt like an intentional, like, just a little pin jab at the fans.
Well, I think it's just a lack of understanding of the story, like that has been told before. I think that's what it is. I think the writers, I don't think the Quebec writers, they might be gamers. I don't think they are. I think they are. Well, I just don't think they care for these Assassin's Creed games. They just care to tell a historical sort of story. And I think they get the summary of these older games and then they just go with it. And I think that's just a lack of understanding of it. That's what I got from it. You know, I mean, there obviously is a chance that they just hate the old games so much that they're slighting us. But I think, in my opinion, I think it's more likely that they just don't understand. They don't get it. Because they don't play the games.
They're scared to do anything because they don't want to overwrite. Well, they did with Hattori Hanzo. They totally rewrote his lore.
They retconned him insanely, and they retconned him for the worst. Like, he was just such a like almost every character in the game, just a nothingness character that doesn't really add to the story whatsoever, or the characters.
Yeah. They kind of ruined Xiaoyun's legacy as well, because her apprentice was the one that founded the Japanese Brotherhood, but now they've retconned it to be some random Spanish bloke.
I know. Why do they...
We get one rift about him. I don't even know who he was.
That also leads into a lack of understanding. Like, I think they just don't do the research of the established lore, and they just do what they want to do, and it gets approved by Ubisoft, higher ups, because they don't have like a lore master that works for the company that has to ensure it all makes sense. They don't have that, so it just gets approved. Whatever. They could probably retcon something so insanely bad, and I'm sure it would get through. Because I just I think it was that Reddit AMA. I think the second somebody said, "What are you doing to Hattori Hanzo?" they went, "Oh shit, he's already been in this before." And then they quickly went and read the wiki page and went, it's okay. We can fit this around what's going on. Yeah.
Because very conveniently, everything that happened to Hattori Hanzo in the lore happened either before or after the events of Shadows. Like, they did actually pick a time period where he's relatively, unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So technically everything fits into the lore apart from this whole Spanish Brotherhood thing.
Yeah.
And also they just made him a weird, he's called, oh my god, his boss fight at the beginning where he says, they called me Hanzo the Demon. I'm like, bro, you look nothing like a demon. The character in
He's
Memories
such a bad
did.
actor as well.
Yeah, I just thought the whole, oh man, I mean, what did they do?
Why don't they hire good actors? That's another question. Sorry, but it just, are they hiring cheap actors?
Yeah, there was a noticeable shift downwards, I think, in Shadows. They were, and I didn't think Valhalla, aside from the main cast.
Yeah,
no, but some of the NPCs in Valhalla just sounded like they'd been given bad direction, like they'd been told it was a jokey franchise full of funny characters.
Even with Mirage, I thought the voice acting was bad, but this just topped it with Shadows. I just thought,
yeah. For all I don't like how Basem sounds in Mirage, he is doing leagues above what Now is doing.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just gonna take my jumper real quick, but I have to take my headphones off to do it because it's wired.
Right, yo.
Sorry. Ooh. Oh god. Blur the cameras. Get my nakedness.
What is this? Assassin's Creed.
Oh.
What is Lineage W?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just boiling. Take my jumper off.
That's alright, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, what were you saying?
Oh, that's a total separate thing. Anyway, what was I saying?
Oh, my bad.
What was I saying?
You forget?
Assassins.
Hattori.
The voice acting. The voice acting is shite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because there is a massive difference in quality between the motion capture scenes and then just random dialogue. I mean, we spoke about it on the live stream about Naoya's voice acting, but look, it's not bad, but it's bad, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think she's helped by the writing.
Well, that again, yeah, poor dialogue is going to make the acting sound stiff, but it's definitely her delivery as well. Like we were saying, what is in the box?
There are some lines that I was listening to, and I was just saying in my head, I'm like, this is the line of dialogue. This is how I would see it. Just there's
no emotion.
It's so easy to fix. Yeah,
it's just robotic, stale.
I'm doing the Junjiro side quests at the minute because you've got to finish all of those in order to get the epilogue cutscene.
Yeah, is that just where they like look off into the distance and?
Yeah, it's totally stupid. But they're looking off to the island of Awaji.
Oh god,
that's the island in the background, so that's where they're off to. And you also get a little bit of lore, like not lore. I mean, like Hanzo sends Naoe a letter saying he's found her mother. So that's where the DLC will lead into. Well, he's like, I think that is actually
so contrived. Just like, I've just found her now. She's just on an island. Don't ask me how I found her, because the writers don't know how to sort of naturally weave things in. So let me just say, I found her.
I really hope maybe when they get all 3 boxes together, they'll open them.
Oh, and they'll like
pieces of Eden.
Oh god! At this point, I don't even want them to do that because they'll just make it so bad. She'll be like, "What is this ball?"
This ball.
Yeah, she'll attach it to the end of her chain thing.
Oh man, because the one of the members of the Shinbakufu who take it off Naoe at the beginning of the game, he does open it. And I noticed there wasn't a glow when he opened it. So I was thinking from the start, I was like, what are these?
Then again, your PC could have just forgot to show the glow.
I would have preferred if that was the answer. But no, unfortunately, I just don't think... I don't know. But anyway, I'm doing the Junjiro side quests at the minute.
Yeah.
And I've just done the most riveting quest ever where I have to make soup.
Oh, God.
You have to go around finding ingredients.
And it's a fetch quest.
In the game. So it's a fetch quest. You've got to go to different shops and buy different ingredients.
Let me ask, is there any sort of like reason for this? Is when they start eating the dinner, is there some sort of like discussion between them that evolves their characters and you start to relate to them more, understand their connection, or is it more just like, so Junjiro, I got your soup?
What do you think?
Well, I think I know, but I want to hear it from
you. You know Soren, the old man who helps Naoe at the beginning.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Junjiro is making the soup so he can like apologize to him for trying to kill Naoe or something. I don't know what he did, but he's just trying to be nice to him.
Right.
But my point was like the voice acting from Naoe was so bad. She's like, I will collect these ingredients take to Master Soren.
It's just
Master Soren, I made you soup.
Well, I bet he was like, oh, thank you, Naoe, yes.
Well, he did it, he had a better reaction than she.
Yeah, but even he wasn't a good actor, was he?
No,
when he came in, I thought... I
hope this guy's not here for long.
Yeah. Every conversation in that game, it doesn't feel real. That's what I came out thinking. Yeah. Like, it feels robotic. It feels like... Honestly, I mean, I could be wrong, but I wonder if a lot of the dialogue was like they had like an AI aid into doing it faster. I don't know.
I hope not.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
Did you play? There is one opportunity. I tell you what, there was one opportunity in this game where I thought this is going to be the scene that I can break down. This is the big getting into their character. Did you do the mission where Naoe and Yasuke sit at a campfire and talk?
Yeah, I did that. Oh my god.
That's what I thought.
Anything.
Nope. I thought that's going to be the Valhalla Bazin scene.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're getting into.
And
I went and did it.
Thought it was... Sorry.
I actually screenshotted, because I'm going to use it in a thumbnail,
Screenshot.
that picture. Screenshotted out. That shot of Yasuke passed out in the cart.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to send you it. That is just perfect thumbnail material. Because I thought, they're gonna get drunk, they're gonna open up a bit, and we're gonna get some really good dialogue. And it's just like,
nothing.
Now it asks, do you miss your people or something? And he just goes, yes.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I know, and that would have been the perfect chance for him to allude about what the Templars did, his mother. I had a mother and I was with her a long time and you know what I mean? Why don't you take these opportunities to actually explore these characters and tie the story together?
They've got the time. I mean, I said this with Nuno Karo as well. They had the screen time. There was Nuno Karo has at least 10 minutes of cutscenes. You could write 10 minutes of good dialogue for him.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. They made him cartoonish.
Oh, I know.
Really cartoonish. And I couldn't believe... those rifts after the fact, made it seem like he was a lot more like of an actual fleshed out character with a plan.
But it's too late. The game's over. You know what I mean?
It was too late. Yeah, he's already dead, so it doesn't matter.
Oh,
but when he's actually on screen, he's just like, yes, okay.
He's like, oh, hello.
You're not going to kill me today.
Yeah, literally. And then I'm just gonna say now for me in the edit, so I remember to put that picture you sent me on screen now. That is literally me, the Yasuke in the car. That is literally me when I finish Shadows. that is me.
Yeah,
right
I just think that's such a perfect
contemplating
photo.
why I wasted 30 hours.
I will say for me, I didn't feel the grind. I felt like it.
That's good.
It did start to strain a little bit, but it just ended before I got sick of it. Whereas with Valhalla, I think I was sick of it immediately. So to that extent, it did carry me the whole way through. So, the only point I had to grind was the fox. Now, do you remember doing the fox?
Remind me which one?
Oh god, well it's the guy. It's like the third to last target. Takeda, I think is his name.
Is that the one where Yasuke kills like the slaver guy, and it like zooms in on his face where he's running, and it's hilarious. You know that bit?
Oh,
he's like running, he's like smiling in slow motion.
Yes, it is. That was amazing. That was absolutely incredible because the pirate guy is like level 28, and then the fox that now we're faces is like level 40.
Oh really?
He's level 39.
Oh, so
am I right? I got one shot so many times. It is that guy. Yeah, it's after the pirate. It's after the pirate guy. It's in that same sequence where he does the first half, she does the second. But for some reason, he was massively over-leveled. He was like level 39 and I was level 28. So I had to. That was the only point in the game where I was getting one-shotted so much I had to go back and grind. But I just did like all of the pirates. I just killed all of the pirates off. I got a load of XP. And when I came back, I beat him in like a couple of hits. And I was like, that's weird how aggressive the level gating is.
Just
that if you're even 3 levels under, it's going to be crazy.
It's just badly optimized. Like it doesn't give you a fair chance because like I know why they did it. I don't agree with why they did it, but they did it because they want you to play the game longer. They're forcing you to do side quests. They're forcing you to go out and artificially inflate your playtime because that's. You might be more likely to buy microtransactions the longer you play. The investors are going to see long game time, which is a good look for them. They might get more investors. I'm sure there's other behind the scenes reasons why you want longer game time. I mean, at the end of the day, the longer you spend on somebody's thing, that's what they want, right? They want you playing all the time. That's what they do it. But then it's like, a lot of people might actually have more replay value out of it if you get the choice to approach the game how you want. And also,
if you have to grind, you're gonna do what you did and walk away.
I walked away. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm done. I don't care." And again, like,
it should just be the level that your character is.
Yeah,
it should just continue with your level, like how everything else in the open world does.
Well, like I said earlier, though, like I can tolerate level gating. Again, like my preferred type of sort of game story with missions and structuring like that is going to be able to do it in the sort of pace that you want to, have everything tied together. But again, like I said earlier, the level gating I think is done well in a game like The Witcher 3, where yes, you might not be able to do the next proper direct main mission if it's like, quest if it's like maybe 5 levels above you. However, the main quest you just did has now unlocked a whole branching story with these other characters that explore the themes, the characters. They are basically part of the main story. They're just optional. So then you do those and it still feels like you're doing the main story because it's all tied together. Shadows doesn't do that. All of the side quests pretty much, you'll have characters that you meet in the main story that then give you side missions. But those side missions they give you are not directly tied to the main story. They are just boring fetch quests or, go to kill this person, come back, get a reward. So why...
I mean, I'll be honest, I have not done a single one.
I didn't do one either. I've done enough to know what the side content is like. And I've done a couple. I think I did on the map, where you see the exclamation marks. I've done I did 2 of those. They were reskins of the same mission. They were boring. I've seen some online, different people playing them.
Oh, I've done absolutely none.
I've done enough to know. Let's just say that I've done enough to know what they're like to be able to talk about it. They're just it's just poor quality all around, in my opinion. But it's good for you that I'm glad that you've enjoyed most of the gameplay loop, because if you don't enjoy the gameplay loop, there's no save in it, and that's how it was for me. So I'm glad that you've enjoyed.
Yeah,
and that means
I found it relatively painless. I just found myself getting through it without feeling like there was any roadblocks, or some bosses were a little bit difficult, but I pretty much just factored that up to me being poor at the game. So I did eventually, like after a couple of attempts, manage to get them done.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you, I know we don't really do ratings, but if you had to rate it out 1 out of 10, do you know where you'd put it?
I'm
just curious.
Oh God, see, I find that difficult because I'd rather rate it compared to the other games.
Yeah, I agree with you. Don't have to answer if you don't know, but I was just curious.
I mean, it's not high, I don't think, unfortunately.
I mean, doesn't matter. I was just curious.
I'd say between like a 6 and a 7. Maybe.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair.
I think.
What would you give it?
Well, I mean, I think it's my rating would be purely based off of how it's like just drained me, and like like there are worse Assassin's Creed games, but this is my worst Assassin's Creed game based off of what it's done to me, and it's a 1. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's a 1.
For my personal rating, I know objectively it's not a 1, but subjectively for me, it's my 1. Like
okay.
It's just oh god. I've actually started scripting last night when I was feeling it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start scripting this big critique sort of intro, and I mean, I'm not gonna get that out anytime soon, because I'm not going to run into the same issue I did with my Mirage one, where it's too late and it got no views. I'd rather wait 6 months, give it time.
I think, it needs to be later, and it needs to be, it's going to take a long time, I think, to script out something like that, because it's such a big game. There's a lot of story.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, you wouldn't have thought, but...
Yeah, so...
I'll do a narrative critique, but it's probably going to be a year down the line.
Fair enough.
Wait until the whole thing's out, because I feel like we haven't even got the whole story done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, no, I know that's what I'm saying. Really, like I'm it's on my mind fresh now, so I'm starting to script it now. But I will literally just take my time, and it will come out like at some point one day, some point this year probably, maybe in like July or August or something. But I haven't even written about the game yet. I've just been explaining context and how I felt, how this game has made me feel. I haven't even used the word Assassin's Creed Shadows yet, and I've written 500 words. Because I'm setting up, right? I'm setting the scene of how the
well, if it's a long video, you need to do a long setup.
Because the idea is I've started with a big like almost like like a shock sort of not what's the word statement and I'm building up to this, and I'm explaining why, I'm setting the scene so people can get an idea of why I feel the way I do, and then I'm gonna say like, and Assassin's Creed Shadows did this to me, here's why. Do you know what I mean?
I like it. Yeah, that's like the bombshell at the end of the introduction.
Pretty much.
By the way, this is all about Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah. Well, the Shadows is going to be in the title. Let's just say.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
Shadows broke me, I'm guessing.
I was actually low key thinking of using that title. I don't know, because like.
Oh, did you see that? Speaking of lasers, did you see that he's just dropped a 5-hour retrospective on Odyssey 2? To
be fair, I've watched about 20 minutes of it so far. I'll watch the whole thing at some point.
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to dive into that.
I like what I like about his videos is, although I wouldn't structure it for me, like if I was making a video like this, but I like how he goes through the whole game and then he just analyzes like every single sequence.
Yeah, I like things like that as well.
I wouldn't do that myself because the way I make content, I think what I want to do is I want to make a video that will then encourage the person, if the video is positive, to go play the game and like learn themselves. So like I like to be almost like a companion to that game almost.
Right.
But again, that being
I think
said,
I'm more like after the fact. I'm trying to sort of, I don't know, like give clarity to people who maybe didn't understand stuff in the game.
Yeah, it's fair enough. That's a good though. That's good because it's like we all have our different little angles at which we go. You go to lasers for the deep dive sort of analysis on the whole game. You might come to my channel for a sort of let's say I'm doing a like with the Starfield video, for example. I did that in a way that was relatively sort of spoiler free, so people could then go and play the game.
And I think it was more personal as well.
I like
it's
the
like,
personal.
How does it make you feel? Yeah. It's not like objectively like against the news stuff, really. The news stuff is very like, I can only give the facts here. Which isn't really very fun to do. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was now.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna actually look at my notes while you think, because I've got my notes up on screen about what I wrote. I said, do you want me to wait for you to remember?
No, it's all right. Honestly, I don't know where it was.
There was one little thing which I thought was weird, and it just doesn't fit into Yasuke's character.
Oh, right.
Was when he kills the Templar target that wears the Templar golden armor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he kills that.
Yeah.
He kills that guy, right? And then he takes the armor to be able to be worn. But why the fuck would he wear Templar armor when he despises
I was
the
thinking
Templars?
the exact same thing.
It's so weird. And then
when that guy first showed up, I was like, oh my god, that's where this armor comes from.
That should have been Yasuke's original armor, because he should have been a Templar.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought that's what was going to happen.
That's what we said about.
It threw me for a loop.
We were speculating that, weren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, like now there is actually no reason that he's wearing an armor with a big Templar cross on it. It actually just doesn't make sense. It feels like clickbait.
It's thematically not right. Like, why is he wearing a Templar armor? Like, he hates them.
And it's weird because it's likely going to be the last armor you get in the game as Yasuke.
So you'll never.
So like all of the last cutscenes you're going to be doing with that. It just doesn't feel right.
Well, that's exactly what it was in the game movie that I was watching. The person then put that armor on, and then he killed Nuno Karo in the Templar armor.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. That whole sequence where you kill that guy with the cross, that was very tense because you get like no rations. You've got to go through this entire like gauntlet of different enemies, and then you do get rations. Well, you get a couple, but I still found myself, like, after a couple of hits, you've used all of them. And that boss fight, I was cheesing it. I mean, I had to... you have to do the whole boss fight from scratch, like, if you lose, not just, there's no checkpoints in that fight.
That's another issue with that game, though, is the bloody checkpoints, man. We'll get onto that, but...
I just had to spam abilities. And then I was using the Naginata so I could get like long range hits just to charge them back up. And it was like clutch to try and get that boss fight done.
Yeah. I bet you were going like, no. Did you die a few times?
Oh, I was fuming. I died, I think, like 4 or 5 times, but I was fuming because screaming? I got so close every time. Not screaming. I don't tend to scream. I just like put the game down for a minute, just
breathe.
Walk away,
scream into a pillow, come back.
Yeah. It was like the toughest fight in the game, I thought.
Do you know when I was like, when The Witcher 3 came out, I remember I was playing Hearts of Stone, the DLC.
Oh,
and do you remember that? Did you play that one?
Yes, I remember. I've played all of the DLCs. I just can't remember much about it.
Well, do you remember there's that one boss fight with the Lord's name, like the guy, I can't remember his name, but the Lord guy who's like immortal. Do you remember, like, you're in a building, you're surrounded by loads of like copies of him, and you're like fighting. And you're like slicing him, and then he'll just like come back, and there's like 3 phases of the fight. Anyway, it doesn't really matter about what it is, but I remember he kept killing me. This is when I was like, 16 or whenever that DLC, whenever it came out. I was like 16, I was playing it. Maybe I was 15 actually. And I remember he kept killing me. And every time I'd die, I'd carefully place my controller down. I'd turn around, I'd pick up my pillow, and I'd go, fuck into the pillow. I used to get so annoyed. I used to like bite my controller when I would play a game.
Oh my god,
bro! I took it too far. The thing is, I still do. Like, I get so mad if like bosses keep killing me. Like, I can't help it. I scream like
I used to be like
that
that as a kid, but I stopped.
I didn't stop, unfortunately. But yeah,
I'm trying to think, like, what was the last boss fight that really got on your nerves?
The AC Shadows one I quit the game at. Oh, and the boat one.
Well, I don't think that was fair on you were just like under leveled, I think, for that.
Yeah, but it was still hard. Like also the guy on the boat, he would one hit me, Duarte or whatever he was called. He would keep one hitting me. And
see, I was
so
like
mad.
the right level for that, so I just took him out.
Yeah,
I think it's genuinely just really strict if you're not at the level that you should be.
It becomes like a Souls game when you're at the level. Like
you got to dodge everything.
I had to. With the Duarte fight, I died so many times, and eventually I switched to my katana so I could hit faster and dodge out the way quicker. And I just kept hitting him, and then when he was gonna go hit me, I would like block the attack, and then my you know that attack where like Yasuke jumps back, he goes black and white, and then he like zooms into them and cuts through them.
Yes, I know which one you mean.
So that would like ability would like recharge, and I do that, and then I hit him a few more times, and I keep dodging, keep like blocking. I was just spamming the parry button, just so when he'd hit me, it would do it. You haven't really got timing, you just got to spam it.
I think the hitboxes are a little bit off in that game in general. Like, there are a lot of times when those unblockable attacks, I've dodged them and it's just not counted. I've been hit anyway. And I don't know. It felt unfair. I felt like I've been cheated a lot in that game.
Yeah, there's just a lot of balance issues, I think. That, across the boards. And one thing I'll just quickly say before I forget is, did you find that like the checkpoints were so bad? Like, it felt like a 2003 game. Like, you die and you'd go so far back and you have to do like 3 things again. I had that a few times.
I can't think of any examples where it was like.
Let me. I know an example. You know when you're following, you're like tailing that guy as Yasuke to find the Templar on the boat.
Yes.
So,
sorry, I know which one you mean. Yeah.
I was tailing that guy, and then like right as I got to the boat, where you interrogate the guy on the boat and he sails you over there. They killed me in one hit because they saw me, and then it reloaded me back, and I had to tail him all again from the beginning. And it's like it reminded me like this is what like games used to be like, whereas nowadays usually a checkpoint would be there when you got to the end of that tailing bit, and then you just reload up again there. But I had to like tail him all again. It's just things like that, and like it would load you back so far that you'd have to run for a lot of time again to get back to where you were. That's what I found.
Yeah, I was having a lot of trouble with like manual saves because I was trying to like once I got past a little bit, I was trying to like manually save and it just wouldn't let me. There's so many times when I've tried to save and I just can't.
It would say
because you've got to be like outside of a restricted area. You've got to be on flat ground. It's there's so many conditions. I just found it really irritating.
It would always say like in this context you cannot save.
Yeah, like what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I don't know.
Oh man, yeah. Did you remember what you were trying to think of?
No, I can't even think what it was about.
Yeah, I'm just looking through my my notes to see what I've talked about or what I haven't yet. We've talked about the no evolution or exploration of the characters. Yahweh.
Yeah, that's.
Did I just
Yahweh.
Fuck, I do that a lot. Yahweh Nasuke. I just wrote in my notes they're so surface level that you don't care about them or feel any connection to them. They feel robotic and fake. Don't feel human, I said.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, just in the pantheon of... Oh, I remembered what I was going to say now.
Go on then.
Oh, it was just going to be, where do you rank this compared to other games in the franchise?
Oh, wait, we already said that.
Well, we gave it a number out of 10, but we didn't say...
I mean, again, for me, like, just because of it's very personally sort of not done it for me. It's just the bottom.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So you think this is worse than like Odyssey? Okay,
so I was thinking about this, and this is my answer to that question, because I know it was going to come up.
That is a question.
So like, you know, I am not a big fan of Odyssey. I'm sure if I played it again, I'd realize, oh yeah, it's much worse than Shadows. But the thing is, Odyssey did not affect me the way Shadows did, because when I played Odyssey for the first time, it was when I was like in college, and I remember I was like off 2 weeks sick, and I was just running around not playing it like an Assassin's Creed, just playing it I was playing music while I played it. I was watching YouTube videos, and like I had a fairly good time. And then it's only after the fact, going back and actually looking at it as a proper Assassin's Creed game, that it hurts, you know? Whereas this game, I tried, you know, I was taking it seriously. I was playing it. I was wondering where the story was going to go. It felt like there was a lot riding on it, you know? Like, I've definitely I've come a long way in, you know, having a YouTube channel now and talking about Assassin's Creed a lot. I'm a lot more, I feel like I've got a better understanding of why I like the AC games. So then playing this and just, you know, just giving a little bit of Assassin's Creed imagery, you know, symbolism, but never actually exploring it in any meaningful way, and just, you know, delegating me to actually just playing a game that isn't Assassin's Creed, it hurt. You know, it didn't make me cry, but, you know, it made me just feel disappointed, just like a disappointed parent. Like, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed, you know? It's just like, so I think because it's disappointed me more than any other Assassin's Creed has disappointed me, even more than Mirage, because, you know, I just think it hurts. And I think one more thing to add to that is Odyssey. You know, I've criticized Odyssey a lot for not being an Assassin's Creed game, you know, when it's meant to be, but it very clearly did not want to be an Assassin's Creed game. It very clearly, like, yeah, it did all the Yisu stuff, but it didn't, you know, it very clearly didn't want to show any real Assassin's Creed symbolism, imagery, whatever you want to call it.
It knew what it wanted to be.
Yeah, like, it didn't touch on any Assassin's Creed sort of themes. It did none of that. Whereas Shadows did do little bits of that, which makes it hurt even more, because it did it, and then it would pull it away from you, and then when it did do it, it wouldn't be done amazingly, but then sometimes it would be done for kind of good, and it would just hurt even more, because it's like, well, then you kind of do know what you're doing, so why aren't you doing it for 99% of the game? Why are you only giving tiny little hints here and there? Like when I was on the live stream and I killed that main target, and there was what I thought was a pretty cool conversation between Yasuke and Naoe, and then I'm like, well, that is proper Assassin's Creed themes. Why is it in one cutscene? And you know, and then again, like, well, you know, and then like obviously the whole of Yasuke's final part, and you know, it showing his sort of flashback, you know, that was really cool shit. And I'm like, why are you showing this at the worst possible time when I've mentally checked out because the rest of the game was shit? So yeah, it hurts in that regard. And again, I'm gonna explore my feelings on that in this video, you know. I think, and I do think this is the nail in the coffin for new AC games for me. I don't think I'm playing them again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna explore that in this video. I'm gonna.
You're not even gonna play the Fall Guys one.
I mean, I might play that with you as like a joke for the Podyssey, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'll probably play it if we do end up getting co-op for AC Shadows at some point, which I can't imagine we will. Then I'll play that with you, you know, like stuff like that. Yeah, but like, I'm not gonna play the Black Flag remake because it's gonna hurt. It's not gonna be. I just know now. Like, people will always say like, and I was guilty of this for like 5 years, 6 years at this point. Like, you always think, but maybe the next one's going to be better. Like, there's always a chance. Maybe they'll get it. And they never do. And it's just like, oh, why did I even think that? But maybe the next one. So I'm just cutting it off here now. You know, like, obviously I'll love, you know, the channel's not going to like...
I was going to say, how is that going to impact the channel?
No, so it's like, you know, I still have so much stuff I haven't said about loads of Assassin's Creed games that I do love, that I really want to make videos on. So I'm going to make all those videos, you know, and that's years worth of content. And like, you know, if I want to cover an Assassin's Creed leak because it looks funny or interesting, then I'll do it. Or if I want to, you know, we see stuff about the Black Flag remake, yeah, I'll talk about it. I'm just not going to play it.
Ah, right.
You know, so and like,
how are you feeling about Shadows? Are you going to cover it anymore if you're not enjoying it?
I'm gonna do like this obviously this big scripted video at some point. I don't know if I have anything else I can really do long form wise anymore, you know, in this sort of time, because I mean everything I want to say is gonna be in this long video. I don't really know what else I can do without sort of taking away from what that big video is gonna be. So I think
that's fair.
Obviously, you know, it's different on the pod. You know, we're talking about it now. I'm happy to talk about it whenever we want to talk about it. But I just think for my own main channel, I think I'm just gonna focus more on some shorts, do more shorts now. And then I'm gonna, you know, I want to do that AC3 video still.
Yes, yeah, that'd be a good one.
So like all content like that is still gonna be what I do. So like, you know, just a casual viewer of my channel won't notice any difference. It's just in my personal life. Yeah, I'm not gonna play Black Flag Remake. It's gonna hurt. I just know.
I agree with that mind. I do think it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna
I am fully
away.
like clenched and ready to.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the. This
Bro,
the Black Flag Remake has such a small chance of being good unless it shot for shot recreates the entire story.
And then you don't even and then it's like, do you even need to remake it at that point? They're gonna change it enough to validate a remake, and then they're gonna make it so bad. And like it's gonna be with the same sort of types of voice actors as we got in Shadows, and it's gonna be like,
oh, it can't be. No. They've got to bring
Edward,
them back.
come over here, mate. You know what I mean? Oi, Edward, come over here. Have a drink with me. And then Edward will be like, he will sound like this. I'm trying to do like a Welsh version of now.
Oh, like a Welsh accent. He will sound
like this.
Like this.
Yeah. And he will definitely say,
what have you
matey.
found?
Yeah. He will say, matey, I'm telling you.
He has to. Yeah.
He will make someone walk the plank just as a joke. Like it won't even be like a meaningful thing. He'll just make. He's gonna
have the hook blade, isn't he? The whole reason he didn't have the hook blade was to avoid the stereotype of now pirates having hooks.
Darby's not gonna be rewriting this, so we're gonna have some like jackass Ubisoft writer just.
He thinks it's funny.
Just destroying the amazing work of Darby.
I can't wait to get like the Davy Jones like outfit.
Oh my god, the
Edward,
tentacles!
Where he's like a squid. Yeah. He'll have like a squid sort of aesthetic to him.
They're good.
Barnacles on his face and all that.
Oh my god. He's gonna.
I'm trying to think of the voice acting now. Like,
how do you do Welsh accent?
We could have been heroes. Like.
Yeah.
In a world without God.
Oh man, he'll say
we have to find the location of the observatory,
and you know Cassandra will like come up somewhere. Like they hit.
I'm waiting for her to show up in this game. I'm gonna do every single side quest until I find her. She's gonna be in there somewhere. There's gonna be like a woman with like a hood and like a cloak, and she'll just be the voice actress.
It's gonna be Nawe's mum.
No, they can't do that.
She's gonna be like, Malaka, you found me. My daughter.
Now his mum will be like, I had some help.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. It reveals it's like Cassandra.
It will be someone with a hood up, and then it will like cut to like a close up of her face. She'll turn around as she like, you know, like Anakin when in Revenge of the Sith when he's like looking into the camera, the half face. It's gonna be like that, but Cassandra. Oh man,
is your name Nawe?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about you.
There's a whole bigger universe out there you don't even understand.
God. There's a whole multiverse out there.
Oh no.
There'll be an Isu artifact that will like connect universes, and it'll become like Avengers Infinity War.
That'll be the Fall Guys game.
Yeah.
Or they just put it all in the Animus. The Animus is like a bit of an excuse they could do. Oh no, the Animus is malfunctioning. All these time periods are melded into one map with loads of different landmarks in them and all the characters.
There's no point.
It's a good setting for a multiplayer game.
Yeah. But and just to finish what I was saying there, there's no way in hell I'm playing Hexe.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Unless
the writing seems really, really good.
Yeah. The thing is though, like that's the thing. Like, you always think like, oh, but that's the Montreal game. That's the Darby's going to be writing that one, so it's got to be good. And like, yeah, like it'll be like Valhalla though. Like, he'll have parts that are really good, and you're like, oh yeah, that's proper Assassin's Creed. But like, it will just be developed. The game format will be made in a way that it is all, again, just like disjointed and bloated, and like they don't care for a good story. Darby might care for a good story, and he might write as good as he can with what he's allowed to do, but the game won't be made to accommodate that. So it will just feel weird, like it did like how I think it did in Shadows, but also like in Valhalla and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm sort of conflicted because Shadows, I think, gameplay wise is good, but I kind of prefer Valhalla's story.
Oh yeah,
like on some levels, I'm like, oh well, Shadows is better in this regard, but Valhalla is better in all of the story level. I would
say Valhalla's got a much better story, and I'm not saying it's the best story, but I'm saying it at least, like, again, like, I think Darby is just an infinitely better story writer, and I think if he had the choice of the type of game it would be, I think he'd probably have made it a much more focused and concise game. You can tell in like the parts of the writing that do shine, and I think that's.
I feel like it could have just been the like, if you just give Darby the exact same amount of time and cutscenes and everything that Shadows had, he could have improved it. Like, I don't think it's beyond saving. You could have really easily just done another pass of the script, like the main overview of the story, and just rearranged it a bit. I mean, the fixes to make this good are so blatantly obvious that I think even the marketing team tried to lean into it.
Yeah.
To make like, same thing with Mirage. I genuinely think that the marketing team came up with a good narrative for the game and imposed it onto the trailers and stuff.
What you mean?
Because it's not in the actual game.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like Yasuke joining the Templar, I think that's what they were hinting at throughout the marketing campaign from the start. It's meant to be like the villain turns good.
I think that happens because like they'll give like a brief outline of the setup to like for marketing materials, because the marketers aren't going to know everything that happens in all the dialogue, because that's not their job. Their job is to just outsource stuff for CGI trailers and to do this and that. So I think they get a brief outline and it sounds pretty compelling, and anyone with half a brain can envision a much better story than what we end up getting. So the CGI trailer tells a better story because they outsource it to Digic studios who create all their CGI stuff.
Yeah,
and they've probably got half a brains at least, so they know how they think the story can come together based on what they've read, which is always going to be infinitely better. Going back to what I always say, whatever story you imagine is always going to be much better than what Ubisoft end up presenting to you. So it's like the same thing happens with the marketing team and stuff. Like, I don't know what their writing team is doing. I don't understand. Like, it makes no sense why you would hire blatantly awful writers. And yeah, I know that there could be like a big strain from the higher up saying you can't do this, like loads of criteria that stifles the creative work that you can get out of these writers. So yeah, it could be that. It could be more of a higher up problem. But it's got to be problem. I don't think I think again
we pitched a better idea earlier.
We did.
It only took us an hour to get a better version of the story out.
Yeah, and like I think sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I just can't tell if it's a restriction on the writing part, like if they were told you can and can't do this.
I think,
or if they're genuinely incompetent.
I think it is a mix of both, because again, looking at Darby, we know for a fact Darby's a good story writer because he's done Revelations, he's done Black Flag,
and he was allowed to do whatever he wanted as well. You can tell that he wanted to go crazy.
Yeah, at that point, he at least had a lot more creative freedom. You look at Valhalla, you see the drop in quality, and it's very clear that he's still got good writing, as I was saying earlier, in certain scenes of the game. So he's still got it. So that alludes, or not alludes, but I guess allude is the right word, I don't know, to the idea that maybe Ubisoft put a lot of constraints on what is allowed to be told in the story. So then you look at AC Shadow's story and you see there is not. I mean, I know you might disagree, but in my opinion, no good story aspect. It's all a mess, and then you think, okay, so they must just be really bad writers as well. That's what I think. I know you might not agree that it's all bad, and I think, to be honest, I think 99%
the dialogue is a waste. A lot of the dialogue, a lot of the scenes in the game are just totally wasted. The potential.
Yeah, there are good
but there
parts.
is that potential there, I feel.
Yeah, I just think it's
I could point to a couple of scenes that I think are really good.
Yeah.
But it's scenes in a game that's 30 hours long.
Exactly. And it's I just think it's all it's messy.
Yeah, and I will say I think it's the ending that really ruins it for me, because I was pretty on board with it up until things started to get revealed.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like, oh, okay, like it's not great, but it's got the potential here where if it has a Valhalla style ending, it could really elevate it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It kind of just slowly, not even fizzles out. It just stops. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, well now I can't give it any praise because it never reached the level that I thought it could have gotten to, which now makes me look back on the whole story and think, well, this didn't really lead to much, so I then have to assume everything that happened up to it wasn't really that good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of what like, you know, leads into the drive to play these games for me, like I would say with Odyssey, with Valhalla, with Mirage, and now with Shadows. You know, if I knew where this story was going to go, I wouldn't have played it because I would have known that nothing happens. You know, it again, they have a first like 10 hours where it really makes you think that it has the illusion that it's going to go somewhere. So then you play to find out what's going to happen, and you just get let down. And I just think, if I had the foresight to know that it wasn't going to go anywhere, it would definitely change the outlook I had on the game itself. You know, because I would have never made that first impressions video saying I'm loving the game. Like low key, I'm a bit embarrassed now because I'm like looking back and I'm like, I disagree so much.
That's interesting though. But that's interesting because that is your raw first thoughts. It's only as the game's gone on that your mind has started to change. So I think it is interesting to look back on that.
I guess so. Yeah.
And those first 10 those first 10 hours are pretty good.
Yeah, but I
can see exactly where you were coming from.
It's funny though, because like if I was to go back and play those 10 hours now, knowing what I now know, I don't think it's good at all, because I'd be like, well, this is just meaningless setup that could have been done so much better.
I do think it's funny that we haven't like, you know, Yasuke has that whole bit at the end. This is a war on the Templars. I love that we just haven't speculated or care about where that's going. I think we both know that that's just nothing. That's never going to get expanded upon again.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the thing, because you know it's going to move on to a completely different character and at a completely different time for the next game. So it's like, it's...
I still reckon when there was a season pass, there would have been 2 expansions, and the second one would have been Yasuke-centric.
I can't imagine they're just not going to do that now, though. Why would they not?
I reckon it's just I reckon we're just getting one DLC, that expansion, because... they're probably going to try and shift this Black Flag remake out a bit sooner, like by the end of the year, which means there's only a chance for one DLC. I mean, I would have loved if this got the Valhalla treatment and we got like 3 years of content and quests, but we're in a different time now. That was COVID. That's when they had the time to like put more attention into one game instead of developing a new one.
Yeah.
So I feel like Shadows is probably going to get the claws of Awaji and then be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, maybe
long term.
Maybe. Do you know? I just got to say real quick, just to acknowledge it, because it might pick up on the mic. My girlfriend's like sat on the sofa. She can't hear you because I've got my headphones on, but she's like laughing at a video or something, and I thought she was crying. Are you good?
Oh.
She says she's fine. She's fine. Just a funny video.
Oh, good.
Are you sure you're not crying? I just heard like, I was like, oh my god, what's going on?
Is it Shadows?
Yeah, Shadows broke her as well.
Yeah, that's understandable. It does that to the best of us.
What's the video, Chloe? What is it?
It's just like a nurse in like a hospital. Like
a nurse in a hospital. Sounds hilarious.
Oh.
Is that just a real nurse that you think's funny?
Dummy on a bed, like practice.
Can I show it to the camera?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna show it to the camera.
It's not that funny though.
Pass it over.
Wait, let me disconnect the sound.
Okay, hang on.
Wait, take it.
I
It's
can't
the-
play the sound because of copyright.
Oh, it's the comments that are not.
Oh my
as well,
God.
though.
I'll send you a screenshot right now, Lewis, so you can see. See, this is why we need the camera
Okay.
on, so you can watch it with us. But
Yeah, I see. I'm totally unaware of this.
hang on a sec. I'll just send you a little screenshot of this weird. I don't even know what this is. I'm gonna play it to the camera for the people.
What the? Oh, is that one of those like dummies? Those like breathing.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh my god!
Right. Let's...
What a haircut!
What the fuck?
It's the comments that are
Oh, it's the comments she says that are funny. Let me read it.
Oh no, you probably won't find it funny. I've just been.
Oh, anyway. I'll pass the phone back to you. Oh, sorry. I just threw the phone out by accident. Right, I'm just gonna run to the toilet again real quick if that's alright.
Yeah, no
And
worries. No worries.
I'll be back. When we get back, I'm just having a quick look. Is there anything else we want to, cover that we haven't really touched upon yet? Oh, I did.
I don't know.
I do have something here actually. I'm just reading.
Yeah, we could get through what you've got left, and then we could wrap it up there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I think it's about 2 hours 15 at the minute.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just went to the toilet real quick.
Cool.
It's a toilet break.
Don't even think about it.
Stop laughing. I need to move off this video. Sorry.
It's all right. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I'm back.
I have something to show you, by the way. I don't know if
Okay.
you won't have seen this. Oh, where is it? Oh, where's it gone?
What is it? I'm curious
Oh,
now.
I'm gonna have to screenshot it instead. Somebody on my Discord came up with, well, they shared a photograph of Exile Makes Movies,
What?
or The Willis, as it's been called. It seems to be somebody who looks like an amalgamation of the two of us. There we go.
Really? Wait, they're a real person?
Yeah.
Oh
Look at
my
this.
god. What the fuck?
Somebody said this looks like the midpoint
Oh my
between
God.
the two of us.
That would be our child.
That's it. That's how
That's
adopted son.
insane. Oh my god. I can see it.
Yeah, it's,
my
it's
God.
scarily accurate.
We just need this guy to record podcasts.
Yeah. Well, the full screenshot has like his I don't know if he's streaming on Twitch or something. We might be able to find him.
That's so weird. Oh my god.
Do you want to know what his name is?
What's his name?
It's Big Baz.
Big Baz. Oh my god.
Big Baz. He's playing Elden Ring
Oh wow.
in the video. So maybe we can get hold of him.
Is Big Baz a what was it? A what's the word when it's like it's a synonym? Is that the word?
Oh.
For like no, maybe that's not the word. Anagram. That's it. For
Oh, an anagram.
for our names. It's not obviously, but
Oh,
Just
yeah,
making
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
it like like in Harry Potter when Voldemort rearranges the Tom Riddle to be Voldemort, it'll rearrange Big Baz and it'll say
It's
the
Big
Exile
Baz.
Willis Makes Movies.
Yeah, if you flip it round, it's like both of our names
Yeah.
at the same time.
Or it's like our logos just come up.
Yeah. It's kind of freaky.
Yeah, I actually see that. Oh my god.
I kind of
A
want to
bit-
watch him
A bit of me and a bit
like
of you.
in motion now.
Yeah.
Where
The hell?
His name is. I'm gonna find
He's
him.
gonna
now.
have
This is gonna
like
be
a
tangent.
he's gonna have like a mashup of our accents.
I wonder if he's like, because when I read like Baz, that makes me think he's Australian.
Oh really?
You know, but he
Mm.
might. It'd be really funny if he does sound like like both of us. It's Big Baz. There he is.
He probably
he's only got one follower.
Oh, what? He probably lives.
Oh, he's actually done. Oh my god, he's done an Assassin's Creed Shadows thing.
No way.
Bro, this is 100% Assassin's Creed Shadows. Look at my sick fucking.
Wait, did I get that right? He is. He's Australian.
Yeah. Well, it could be New Zealand.
Maybe.
I was talking to our fellow AC YouTuber, The Sticks, the other day.
Oh yeah.
He told me he's originally from New Zealand, and I said something like I thought he was Australian, and he was like that's really offensive.
Oh,
I don't know.
So he's not coming on the podcast.
No, I don't think. I hope I didn't upset him. Really, I think I don't think he was offended, but he was just saying like that's the worst thing you can say to someone from New Zealand, and I was like, oops, my bad.
Whoops.
I'm just a uncultured swine. That's what I am.
I mean, I don't know.
But
I don't know what the difference is. Really.
Oh my god, you've just done it now. You've just insulted.
Yeah, shouldn't even.
You've just insulted two nations.
We'll move on.
2 countries. Yeah. Damn, I can't believe there's a guy that is me and you.
Yeah, you'll have to throw up a picture on screen so people.
Oh,
can
I will.
see
I will. I'll show the one that you sent me in the chat. Yeah.
We should actually do, like a face mash or something. We should get a photo of both of us and mash them together and see how close it looks to this guy.
Yeah, we should. Have you seen? There used to be this thing going around where they take a picture. Like it would be like someone would like tweet something, and then this account would reply with their profile picture, and it would say, "This is what you'd look like if you were black or Asian," and it would be like an Asian or black filter on there.
Oh man, that reminds me. Did you see Slider V2 did a bit of a controversial video?
Oh really? What did he do?
He did. His video was a mod of Yasuke with let's just say Asian skin instead of being black.
I mean,
he said like this was he said this was like the real Yasuke or the early Yasuke or something.
Was it, or is he just saying that?
And it's just a mod he's put on to make him do like yellow face. I don't know. I just like.
I mean,
weird.
I mean, on one hand, it's just a mod for a game to change a character model. On the other hand, when you do that, you're just adding a breeding ground for like mad racist people. So
yeah, I think he was doing it like as a joke. I don't think he really wanted it to be took seriously, but obviously,
yeah.
The weird thing is though, not gonna lie, it does kind of work. I'm gonna send you a picture of that as well. Actually, just
I was shaving earlier and I just realised I missed a hair.
Oh no!
Who's Mr. Hair?
Who's that?
Mr. Hair? It's like a Mr. Man or whatever. Do you ever watch them?
You seen that?
Do you ever read the Mr. Men? Oh yeah, I see.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Oh, that's. Oh my god, that is weird.
Yeah.
That is
like
a
bit freaky.
See, when you said that, I thought it was like a whole other face, but that is just Yasuke if he was Asian.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know.
The comments are not good.
No, I'm not.
Don't look at the comments.
I'm not sure my opinion on that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Bit strange.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what possessed him to do that.
Views.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know my opinion on that. I don't know if I think it's fine or not. To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I did have a little bit written down, which we haven't really talked about yet. We kind of have, but I think we kind of glazed over it slightly.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read the note as I have it written here, which is just so random and sporadic, but it'd just be easier than me reading it in my head than saying something else. So I just wrote, this is about Naue. I said, the truth about her family and the assassins was told to Naue, right? Oh, wait, maybe we did read this. Oh, we did already talk about that, actually, right at the beginning, and then she just forgot. Yeah. I was just writing about how a random meditation minigame makes her remember everything, when she's already done 1 million of those meditations as it is.
Yeah, she kind of just like shuts her eyes and goes, now I'm going to remember. Well, sorry, she goes, Now I am going to remember.
Yeah, and then she's like,
my past.
Chichiwe.
How could I forget? How could you forget?
All she does is think about that bloody man all game, and she didn't remember a single thing he told her. She remembers the Well, I'm assuming she remembers like how she got dropped off after the battle, or does she just remember getting knocked out and then waking up in the house?
How could you forget that much detail and then remember it?
Yeah, especially seeing she's like
It's the remembering
talking
part
as
I
well.
don't get.
Like she's talking as well. Like she's very coherent enough on the horse to like, and she's listening and she's saying, and clearly because she remembers it. So obviously it was, you know, it wasn't like it was told to her and it went and it wasn't taken in. Yeah, it's just dumb.
So sloppy. I don't get
dumb.
why they like that is a definitive, objective. That is bad writing.
I think what they're always
you cannot argue.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I think what it is they seem to the last couple games happen with Mirage as well. They keep trying to add twists, but the twists are like you didn't see them coming because they're so bad. You wouldn't even think they think of that. It's just so dumb. It's like I'm not blown away by this. I'm just realizing how stupid it is. You know, it's not like it's you know.
It is dumb. I couldn't believe that scene. I couldn't. My mouth was open. I was like, "This is actually happening."
I know.
They're actually doing this.
Yeah.
Lazy.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of covered all my notes because also I said like Yasuke's character was never explored. I said this is my notes again. He's a foreigner in a judgmental land and racism overcoming and leading into the values of the brother. Wait, that might just be randomly written. I just basically said they could have explored that and his reaction and stuff could have led into the values of the brotherhood, leading him towards it. In other words, race is addressed but never explored. That's what I wrote in the game.
I think it's a consequence of the structure, honestly.
It is.
It seems like these two characters are just so obsessed with the past throughout the whole thing. They're just whining over what happened before that they never really get past it. Like, if the game was told chronologically, there wouldn't be anything happening in the modern day because all they're thinking about is what happened before.
Yeah.
They're just waiting to show us the flashbacks.
But the thing is,
there's nothing actually going on.
The thing is, even though they're obsessed with just the past, they barely even explore the past as well. Like, they do a bit more.
No, they literally just tell us it. It's just a mystery of when they're going to tell us what happened.
Yeah. It's
artificially like constructed around, I don't know. It's like a story that's focused on
just dragging itself out.
Or like informing you of things that happened rather than characters doing things.
That's a very good way of putting it. Yes, it's not natural.
It's just catching you up to speed.
It's just robotic, right? It's very like binary. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't naturally flow. It's just like this happens, so then we decide this is going to happen to move on to this, to move on to this. It's all like steps rather than a natural journey.
It's like, what cutscene do we need to put in here in order for this to happen in the story? Like with Naoe, they clearly went, she needs to know all of this information. Let's just do a flashback where she gets told it and now she can remember it in the present and we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how long did it take them to write this? Like a week or something? Like, this must have been like a hack job to get done.
I almost wondered if they started developing the game before they even sort of finalized the story. Probably during, inherently by the way it feels. I mean, maybe not, but I don't know.
I mean, what I can say from reading that art book is it looks like they got the characters. They knew which characters they were going to use. Mm-hmm. They had all the character designs sorted before they actually had a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do feel like a story was kind of thrust upon them at the last minute. And it's just the same generic, like, parent died revenge plot.
Yeah.
For both characters as well. I can't believe it's both characters. Like, I think Black Flag is the only game where a parent doesn't die at the beginning. Like, maybe like Revelations technically as well. Convenient. Who wrote both of those? I don't get it. Like, every Assassin's Creed game is just a parent dying and them looking for revenge. Or a family member, I should say. A family member dies.
See, I wouldn't even necessarily, like, hate that if it was done well. Like yeah, it can get stale if it's a rinse and repeat story, but, like, if this was the story, you know, of the revenge thing, I wouldn't be so mad at it. Like, again, if it was executed well, like if it was engaging,
if there was more to it as well.
Yeah, if I could empathize with or sympathize with like Naoe and Yasuke for what they lost, which I probably would have been able to do with Yasuke more if they'd showed that end scene at the beginning of the game. You know, because then I would have felt, oh wow, he really has been through a lot. You know, we needed to see the sort of turmoil that the Templars put him through to give him motivation to become a samurai, you know, to strive for something better, and then to fight against the Templars. Not just we don't know anything about him, he becomes a samurai, which is kind of cool, and then he just switches to Naoe's side, and then we find out all of the reasons why at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a fundamental problem with the whole thing.
Yeah.
When you're building your story around a mystery,
exactly,
you don't you can't explore the characters until you unveil that mystery.
Yeah, and it's just again, I think the best word I can use is messy.
I think I use that as well myself. I think it is a mess. It's a mess, absolutely.
Yeah.
But every mess has like little sparkles of good stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it just needed a couple more drafts, I think, to get.
I think it needed
up to speed.
A different writer. And a different developer.
So yeah, it just needed totally different. You just shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Or one more thing I will say. This is the last thing I have on the list, which is it's just a short thing. Don't worry, it's just a short thing. But I wrote at the end of the notes. I wrote literally no reconciliation between Yasuke and Naoe at the end.
Oh yes, I have a. Oh yeah, yep.
Why?
Totally agree.
Why wouldn't they come together to sort of wrap things up? You know, personally, why does Naoe go off, Yasuke go off, and they don't even like say goodbye to one another? They don't even explain where they're going. They just ditch each other for and they meant to have built up this connection through the game. Obviously, that doesn't happen, but it was meant to be that they become close through the game. They're working together, and then as soon as it becomes convenient for them, they just drop each other. That's not very League of the Hidden Blade, is it?
Oh god, yeah. They needed like an extra hour or something. Just something to wrap up the story. That's what makes me think it's the same thing as Valhalla, where it's like it's not the ending because we've got 3 DLCs, we've got all these extra quests, and it's only at the very end of Valhalla's life cycle that they finally did that like last, what was it called? Like the last quest or something? They called it something. Where they finally ended
chapter or something.
Yeah, that was it. The final chapter or something where like they finally explained how Eivor died in North America. They showed like more modern day stuff, and they finally like wrapped it up. Whereas that should have been in the main game. We shouldn't have had to wait 3 years just to get the conclusion to the story. And I feel like that's what Shadows is going to be as well.
And that's the thing.
We're going to have to sit through the DLC.
Most people, agreed. But like most people that play the game are not going to go back to most people that played Valhalla didn't play the last chapter DLC. They didn't care about. They didn't even know it was a thing.
I didn't even do the Templar stuff. As soon as the credits rolled, I'm done. I don't care. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Jetson me out of this game.
Yeah, literally.
I did not want to spend a minute longer.
Why wrap someone up into a big thing with absolutely no payoff or no real ending? It's just so silly. It's so silly. I am conscious of the time. It is 11 o'clock, so we might have to wrap up. But,
yeah. Well, let's wrap it up here then, because I think we've.
Can I say one more thing? And it's not as lot. It's just one. It's like the smallest thing. It's more of a statement than a conversation. I also just to finally say we've said everything on this list here. Naoe has eagle vision, but she never once questions what it is or why. What the fuck? She's like, she uses eagle vision. She doesn't think like, what is this extra sense I have? Like. It's just, that's it.
I got so annoyed when I wanted to play as Yasuke, right? I wanted to actually try and do a 50-50 split, but the bloke can't climb up anything, and he doesn't have eagle vision.
No.
So he can't do half of the stuff you want to do in the open world.
Absolutely punished if you play as him.
Yeah, like, I've finished the game now, so I'm just doing side quests, and I've got no reason to play as Yasuke because he can't get any of these little scroll things on the temples, and he can't use eagle vision, so he's pointless. I mean, I did try stealth with him once as a joke, and it was painful, but I did manage to do it.
Yeah, but
it was really painful because he doesn't have eagle vision, so you've just got no idea where anyone is.
Yeah. Oh man. Well. That was our spoiler cast.
Yes, I think we got our feelings out there.
Well, I wonder what the reception's going to be like. Are people going to be annoyed at us, say we're just missing the point, or are they going to... What do you think it's going to be?
Well, since I uploaded my video the other day, people have been quite like, oh shit, he's got a point, or like, that was quite like a good response to it. I think if you just word it properly, I think people will agree. Because I think people are disappointed. I think once the initial, oh, it's the Templar, like as soon as that wears off, you start to go, right, well, it wasn't done very well, was it?
I keep seeing people comment and saying, like, I'm glad I'm finally playing as an assassin in Assassin's Creed. And I'm thinking, but you're not. That's not what happens. You play as a woman with a hood. She's not an assassin, though.
Just because she gets the robes at the end doesn't mean... And it's like... The end. It's the very, very end where you actually get... The epilogue is where you get her Master Assassin robes.
I know.
I'm not even at that yet. I want to do a video reviewing her outfits, like the progression of her main outfit. But, yeah.
And also, it's just like, at the end when no one cares. And also...
You're not an assassin.
The thing that I was like, I laughed at, I thought, oh, that was a bit... I thought it was going to be a bit more, was... When the Secrets of the Blade quest, whatever it's called, where you go in the tomb for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And then you go up to the robes. I thought it was gonna be a cutscene, and it just disappears. You just hold B to loot. The robes.
Them. Yeah.
I thought she was gonna pick it up. We were gonna get like a sort of AC2 sort of where he gets the robes. I thought we were gonna get something like that.
Yeah, like a parallel.
It's just hold B and then it disappears off the mannequin.
Because they don't care.
No, well, yeah, exactly.
They don't care. Get it over with as quick as possible. We only need to stick them in a cave for a few minutes.
We need them back out in the world doing temples.
You're a shinobi. Yeah.
You're a
what do they call them? The
Japanese woman warrior.
Kakushiba Iki?
What the hell? What's that?
They kept saying it. Now I kept saying it all the way through the game.
Did she?
Kept saying, instead of assassin, she called them something else.
I know she went up to a character and she was like, I'm a shinobi. That was funny.
Oh god, yeah.
And I'm like, you don't announce yourself. If you're a shinobi, you stay hidden. You don't tell everyone. It's not that defeats the point.
I said it in my script. I'm gonna have to find it because I've completely forgotten how to say it now. I had to practice earlier. There it is. The Kakushiba Iki.
All right.
It's the offshoot of the assassins that they have. That's what they call them.
I don't remember hearing that once.
Really?
No.
Oh, she says it a lot.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of like Japanese words that sort of they say, but you don't really know what it is, so it goes over your head, Assassin's Creed always done that though, isn't it? Like Ezio used to say things that I wouldn't have subtitles on, so I wouldn't have no idea what he was saying. He'd say,
well, yeah.
I mean, you get it now, like bene, like it just means like good or something, doesn't it?
That was nice when they mixed in phrases from the actual language with like the English.
Yeah, it was cool. It makes them I mean, you could say it's the animus just like glitches for a minute, can't you?
Yeah.
Molto bene. That was a good one. You used to say that all the time. Yeah, Gazzo. Do you know, once I met I used to go to the cadets when I was younger.
Yes.
That was in the air cadets, the RAF ones. And there was this Italian guy joined for a while, and I remember we were on this little bus thing, like little mini bus where they were taking us on a trip, and I said to him, I was thinking of Assassin's Creed, and I was like, do you know Gazzo? And he was like, oh yeah, he started laughing. He thought it was hilarious, and he was like, yeah, it's like fuck or shit or something. Or shit, I think shit maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because they tend to use it for different contexts. I've heard it be all everything in Ezio's when Ezio says it.
I was thinking the other day, I was earlier today actually. I was just going through my head like random phrases that that stick out to me in Assassin's Creed, just like he was it like he's behaving like a rabid monkey. You know, well, I think that's Revelations.
Yeah.
There's he must be drunk and he must be drunk and she must be beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's so
Just
many.
a few coins, please.
Oh god, not those. I used to punch
Classic.
them so they'd run away. They were so annoying. There's yeah, I like the drunk, beautiful. Get down before I throw you down. That was a good one.
Get down now.
Yeah. Do you know who I am?
Oh, man.
Anyway, let's wrap it up.
Yes.
Are you doing the outro or am I doing it? You usually do it. Do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
If you want to go for it,
Yeah.
go for it. I can say the thing.
You can say the thing. All right. Yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in today to the Podyssey episode 18. We covered Assassin's Creed Shadows, our little spoiler cast. I think we covered everything well, and I mean, as much as we were critical, it was still fun. You know, it was good content, I think, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, press the like button. Let us know in the comments what you thought. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know. And of course, if you are a listener rather than a watcher, you can always head to our link in the description to Spotify. Maybe rate us 5 stars. And subscribe, of course. Subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you can subscribe, get your friends to subscribe, help us reach our milestone, that will be much appreciated. That is our goal. We need to hit 1,000 subscribers. And yeah. Other than that, let me hand it over to Willis Makes Movies.
This has been a Podyssey I won't soon forget.